We have some major events coming up. November 19th is our Bad at Business Beer Fest.
Yes.
That's in downtown Sanford. We're telling everybody get there around noon to get your free sample cups, completely free.
But you got to have an ID.
Yeah,
well,
you have to be over.
21.
Yeah, you have to be over 21. We're doing also some. You buy some full pour cups, all to benefit Yellow Brick Road Foundation. But spread the word. Tell your friends and family to come out. It's a free beer fest. We got live music from Oklahoma Stackhouse.
I just get the feeling. I don't want to jinx anything, but with the weather, the way it's been lately, and it feels like we haven't been outside, and I don't know. There's just the vibe about this one is just going to be crazy.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'd warm that idea up. I'd circle it on my calendar and get ready now.
We start the beer pouring at 2, and basically it's 40 plus breweries, all local. There's Jack Daniels is going to be out there.
Yeah.
We've even got like Tapzilla. There's food trucks. We've got a Tom and Dan vendor village. With some of our sponsors.
The CBE guys are out there. They'll be slinging free stuff, I'm sure, and creations and different beers and raffles and giveaways.
Yeah, all free. 100% free. And then the next day is the Sanford Sofa Races, Sofas and Suds.
Again, that is a free event. Why did we? Okay, that's for a different time. We'll talk about the free thing.
Me and Daniel host Sofas and Suds.
And when he calls me Daniel, you know he means business because it's one of my most fun things. I love it. The sofa races are fun. The beer fest. I'm glad the beer fest is back.
A big thanks to justcallmo.com for sponsoring both events this year. So we really appreciate that.
We love you, Mo.
So remember, Injured on the Go, just call Mo. So those are big events going on in November. And speaking of big events, that means that we are in planning mode, and that means that we don't have that much merch on our site.
No.
So if you want to buy a Christmas present or some sort of Tom and Dan merch, I'd get it now because most likely we're not going to have time to order a big bulk before Christmas. So all our Tom and Dan straw hats, our kid straw hats, we got a bunch of new shirts.
Yeah, the new shirts that are up there. All of our pre-orders are done, unfortunately.
Yeah, but we ordered a little extra, so they will be up once we get them in. So keep checking the sites.
But very limited supply. I'm talking less than 10 to 15 extras.
We still have some other merch items. If you go to the merch page at tomanddan.com, you'll see. But I'm telling you, a lot of the stuff will be sold out if you don't get it early. So if you're thinking about getting it as a gift, definitely get it now.
Yep.
And if you want to book our Airbnb, you can go to bookairtnd.com.
It's so fun, man. If you're looking to party, especially in the holiday months, like I know if you're like me,
good weather.
Yeah, good weather makes me emotional about like, ooh, I want to walk around and maybe wear a coat and stand outside and have a beer. Well, our Airbnb in downtown Sanford is the greatest location you can have. Like, it's the spot.
You walk out the porch, walk 10 feet, you're at the bars, a line of bars.
And then you just start the pub crawl.
Yeah. And then West End is right there, 2-minute walk, and you can walk to Hollabox.
And I know what you're thinking. I might drink too much. How am I going to get a good night's sleep? Well, we got the best goddamn mattresses you'll ever lay on.
100%.
So haul your ass back to the Airbnb and just lay down, and you'll be so happy.
They're adjustable beds, so if you snore, just raise it to 0 G's. It'll stop you snoring.
You'll be good to go. We thought of everything.
Yeah. And we have Take a Beer, Leave a Beer in there, so that there's always new beers. I looked in there. Someone left High Life. I was mad about it. I was like, High Life? Anyway, it's there. There's some beer there. Leave some better things in High Life.
Miller High Life. I mean, look, it has its place.
There's a 4-pack of Tall Boy Miller High Life.
So, I mean,
I was like, you couldn't have left a nice craft beer there.
Mean, not that this is the time to do this, but you should have taken a picture and possibly shamed them on the app. Like, maybe we're going to have to do a shaming service now.
Anyway, lots of things going on. Of course, tomanddan.com for everything.
I mean, this is already going poorly because let me walk everybody that's here through what just happened, and you tell me if this is correct.
Well, first, welcome to a corporate time. With Tom and Dan.
Right. Well, welcome to a corporate time.
Yeah.
So I thought, I look on the calendar, and we're heading out to the Brass Tap to see show character Cadillac Pat and to possibly find one of his hidden treasures.
Yeah, we're on a treasure hunt. Yeah.
For those of you that might be tuning in for the first time, we have a guy who listens. He's a friend of the show. We love him dearly, but he's crazy, and he has hidden treasures in and around the bar that he bartends at.
Yes,
the Brass Tap.
Many times.
I'll give you go ahead and plug it.
It's a Brass Tap. It's in Waterford Lakes. It's the only one in Orlando. You can't miss it.
We're here right now. But Tom, so before we started the recorder, Tom says, wait, I got to remind everybody. I want to remind you guys, we are hunting for treasure. Then Pat goes, good luck. And then Tom leans into like, well, this is kind of the radio. We're kind of hoping you do a bit. Like, now, am I right in assuming that you wanted Pat to fake his treasure hunt, but Pat was like, no, sir, I'm
real.
not. And he's like, good luck. Find it if you can. Take one of these with you. Chopping his crotch. F you.
And then I immediately got mad. And then I'm like, I'm going to kick down the palm trees outside because we're here to go in the Cadillac Pat treasure hunt.
I want you to go through a fit of rage and then have Pat hold you down on the ground.
He could hold me down.
Calm down,
He's stronger
bro.
than I am.
I would like for Pat to hold me down.
I'll tape it.
He looks like he smells good.
When two bros sit at a table together, we size each other up, and I am losing this size.
and then you say, well, which one of us is pushing the other one down? Right? That's what you say.
Because hold on. So we're doing these kind of go-to shows as a treat.
Let's be
this
open
week.
about it. You hate go-to shows. We've pulled the Band-Aid off, and we're going to start doing go-to shows again. Something
It's a
that we haven't
special
done.
week.
We haven't done go-to shows, I want to say, in like 5 weeks.
Yep.
Or 5 weeks. 5 years. 5
Listeners
years. Why did I
love
say
them,
5
by
weeks?
the way. I was a big fan of the Fashion Square Mall one. From,
Okay,
We just
see,
walked around a ghost town.
It's good for Tom to hear this.
Yeah.
I too have heard that the Fashion Square Mall go-to
you
show.
sat at a beer, got a drink somewhere.
Yeah,
I
it
remember.
might be one of our greatest shows we've ever done.
Hold on.
See, this
Pat
is the
doesn't
people talk.
represent-
This he does.
He doesn't represent.
He's show everybody.
No, I don't think he is.
He's show everybody.
He dresses like the '90s. He's single, or not. I mean, he's not married.
Crazy Joe everybody.
He's a workout freak.
Oh,
Wow.
You're gonna say something else.
I was gonna say fiend, and I'm like, don't
He's
say
a
that.
workout free.
I was like, it's not 2002. Don't say fiend. Sorry. Anyway,
I can tell you're off. You're second guessing everything you say.
well, because it's uncomfortable. We're sitting
It is
at
uncomfortable.
a
It's ice
bar
cold in here.
at 10:30 in the morning. I was like, Matt, God damn it.
Where are you? What's going
Pat
on?
is talking to some beer distributor.
No, he's the maintenance guy.
He's talking to the janitor when
You don't even
I
listen.
was, yeah.
I don't like bars in the morning. They smell like they smell
too
like
fresh.
cleaning
Yeah.
supplies.
They smell
and
like a post office. A
and
bar in the
beer.
morning smells like a post office.
It smells like old beer and cleaning
Yeah.
supplies.
Yeah.
It's inevitable. Anyway,
Yeah.
okay, so
And this is weird, Sam. It is weird to think that your job is to drive to an unknown bar at 10:30 in the morning and meet your crazy friend to look for treasure
And
Yeah.
not drink.
That is
Yeah.
weird.
And
Well,
okay.
we're not drinking.
Well, so
This is garbage.
okay. First, it's been a crazy busy week, and I was slammed today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You
then
were.
we
And we
planned-
started cramming more stuff into today.
We planned these go-to shows because you were saying we haven't done a go-to show in a while. People like them, like Cadillac Pat.
I
Like some
hate
other,
them, by the way. I've never said that.
And we need to do some go-to shows.
Yeah.
So then we started brainstorming some ideas, and treasure hunting with Pat was on the brainstorm board.
I think it
Yeah.
But I
sounds
don't-
better than it is. Like treasure
yeah.
hunting with
I
Pat
think that's
sounds great, but at its core, we're just in a bar at 10:30 a.m. with a crazy
okay.
person searching for treasure.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so then it
This
got,
is my favorite go-to so far.
well, it got on the board, and
Yeah.
then I was like, all
I did
right.
forget my shovel, though.
And then we got distracted with some other things. And anyway, it got filtered into the schedule. And then I saw it on there. I was like, all right, maybe we still have some time. This was a couple days ago. I was like, we
Pat's
still have
just
some time
as bad at scheduling as we are because he thought it was last
Oh,
week.
my God.
And he was messaging me last
At
week.
least all I did
He's
was
like, "Are you guys on your way?" And I'm like, "We're coming next week."
I'm good at scheduling, but there has been 2 times with you guys that I've messed up the schedule, and I thought it was last week, and I was at home, a little mile from here. But
Well, there's not that good.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, how many things have we scheduled with you?
I know.
Or two of them.
I mean,
it's like now it's
if
a
you-
25% mistake rate. Anyway, so when I saw this, I was like, "There's still time to pivot." This is last week.
Oh,
And-
so you're
Oh,
trying
you
to
were
kill
gonna
this?
bail.
Did you know? How does this
Well,
make you
last
feel?
week-
How does it
Wow.
make you feel to know that Tom was actively trying to pivot off of your bit?
Well,
Man.
okay, well, I'll explain because I'm still not even at why I'm so mad right
Disappointed.
now.
Okay, yeah, because you are really bad.
'Cause
You were
I-
also buying a Shark Week trophy in the car as I was rocketing down. I'm using autopilot in the
Then
Tesla
I
to
was
put my
blew your
hands up and
window out.
scare Sam. And this guy's ordering a Shark Week trophy on his phone. Then he tries tries to pull the emergency latch on my Tesla, and I scream at him like, "No, you're gonna mess up my rain seals."
I'm just like, I can't get out. I'm like, where's the
We're
door
trapped in
handle?
this death machine.
I can't get in and
He
out.
won't wait to hear anything. He'll just look, and then as soon as he sees
starts
something
touching
that looks like a
everything.
handle, he's like, "Well, I obviously have to break this." You're like a child, man.
Biscuit, break
There's
stuff.
no obvious handle in your Tesla to
No,
get
there's
out.
not. That's what makes it so beautiful.
There's a button that looks like a window down. So I'm looking
There's a
at
button that has a picture of a person getting out of a car. You
I
just
can't-
press it. It's like,
I can't see.
He doesn't have his glasses on.
It just looks like a button. So then I
He
start trying
came
to
in
pull.
this morning. Did I tell you he came in this morning wearing his glasses with his sunglasses on his forehead, and then he sneezed them into the toilet.
Ew.
So then Daniel was like, "No!" He's like,
I
he's
screamed
screaming
at
at
him.
me when I'm
He
trying
didn't
to.
deserve that.
And I'm like,
I
I'm
yelled
just.
at him.
And he'd be like, "My seals!" I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, just let me out. Anyway, this is why I'm mad because. We get here. We sit down with Pat. He's talking to the janitor. He
We
comes
stand
over
over here quietly.
Before we start recording, I'm like, "Hey, this is the rundown. We're treasure hunting. Like at the end, we need the payoff.
Yeah.
we need
We need to find the treasure.
because
This can't be like,
that's
you
part of it.
remember when Geraldo opened up
Oh, yes.
the safe? It was, who was the guy? The old gangster.
Al Capone's safe.
Capone,
Yeah, he's like,
yeah.
we're going to open up Al Capone's safe. I remember, I think I stayed home from school. I
Yeah.
begged my mom. I'm like, please.
Aren't you
let me-
related to someone like that, or you think you are?
No,
No,
his
what does-
pop one of the many
Capone
band laws
stairs?
is that his pop.
Who was it?
That one's real.
No.
What, the
There's
stairs?
some stairs in the Everglades.
I own a portion of that land now, so I'm going to go and bring the stairs to our studio. I think it's like
Yeah, bring more
It was
trash
like
to the studio.
Pretty Boy Floyd stairs. It was like some gangster's stairs to his hideout, and then Tom
Dizzy
was to dig
Gillespie.
them up.
they're
No, Dizzy
there.
Gillespie was a trumpet player, not a gangster.
Yes.
Good Lord,
Correct.
you guys are dumb.
Anyway, so I said we're going to find the treasure, and then Pat's like, "Good luck."
No,
takes it
wanted to
serious.
say, you know what he wanted to say? He
I
wanted-
said, "Why are we doing
Yeah.
this? This is
Because he
going to
threw
be a nightmare."
he threw a good luck. It was like good luck, mother effer.
Yeah.
You got no chance, old man.
Just wander around the courtyard of
it's
the
so
Brass
hot
Tap,
outside.
and then Pat's like, not over there.
Not over there.
I don't even know where to start.
Cold, colder.
There's one inside though too, so it's air conditioned. There's one in here too.
Okay, which one? Okay,
it's-
so let me break this down. So for the listeners' benefit, the Brass Tap, the bar we're talking about, Cadillac Pat works here. He has hidden. How many treasures have you hidden now?
In this bar, or like
Yeah, how many total? Like
Around
if you were
this
to die
area.
right now, how many treasures?
there's 3 right now that are available to find.
two inside, two outside.
One inside, 2 outside.
All right.
Okay.
Well, let's start finding this because
And-
we
Well, I mean, like, how do we talk while we're looking for treasure without having
No,
like?
well, I know.
Sam and I
okay.
will commentate.
All right. No, okay.
And I'll kind of break it down. It's not going to be like it is. Somebody can find it right away. It's not like you're not going to pick up.
Are
that,
you the? It's not one of these things where you're the treasure and you've been the treasure the
No,
entire
no,
time,
no.
right? And then you look at the guest and you're like, "It was my conversation and me pouring you beers that was the treasure the
Okay.
whole time."
So
Because I'll kill you if that's
No.
if
fact.
if I know Pat, right? If there's any Barbasol can around here,
Yes.
because it's
Yeah.
quintessential Jurassic Park '90s to hide the treasure in a
yeah.
screw-off Barbasol can, and if it's sitting right there,
Yeah, because
I'll point at it.
I see Hershey syrup. I know that's for a drink.
Or is it?
Okay, see, now he's going to do that game. You know what I hate every time?
I told you.
We're bonded in hate now. How does
Can
it
we
feel?
get one clue? Are we doing inside or outside first?
Do inside because it's cold in here.
Can,
Okay.
can we see it from
Or
here?
maybe we should do outside and then come back in here to cool down.
You can't physically see it from where we're sitting. No, but it's in plain sight. So
Well, then does that... Okay,
is
since
it-
it's in
hold on.
plain sight...
I mean, I can't see
Is
it
it
from where I'm
possible
sitting.
for someone to mistake it? Is
As
it possible
garbage?
for? Yeah, thank you.
Is it a treasure?
I like that you just cut to the chase.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
trying
yeah.
to be nice to Pat, and you're like, is it possible that what you think is great is trash that you didn't?
Is it possible that it's just a salt shaker?
Yeah. What if your barometer's off and what you think is treasure is actually just, why is that? It's
I mean-
like that box fan that's sitting there that I believe was used to cool this place after hours. That's not the treasure, right?
No,
Okay.
but it's something. Yeah, it's not just money taped to a wall. It is something. It is something that's going to make you think. But it's not hard. It's really not hard. Like it's one
Oh, he's
step.
speaking in riddles.
It's one step.
I feel like we've
Wait,
also
is that a clue? It's
His
one
energy
step?
level went down, which means that I do believe you and I've like honestly hurt his feelings about the quality of his treasure. We hurt
I
his
saw
feelings.
one listener find it, and it was a crumpled up dollar.
It was like a note that said "Help me" in 3 pennies or something. It was like
It was a crumpled up dollar and fortune cookie lottery ticket numbers.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And see that metal thing right there? I just double sided tape that to the wall, and it looks like it's part of the building. That's where it was inside of that.
So a fake electrical socket.
yeah. Well, that's
That one.
okay.
Hold on a
let's
second. You
stand
didn't tell
up.
me you got
Well,
fake
now I'm
electrical sockets.
looking at all the sockets.
Now we're in like some sort of magician shop.
Okay, hold on, Pat. And by the way, we don't have forever, so you got to give us a hot and cold.
This is the coldest is over here.
All right,
All right, so it's on the
Cold.
other side of the bar, I think.
My God, Pat's got on the tiniest shorts too. Is that the treasure? What's hanging out of your shorts? Good
He's about to
Lord.
hit the gym.
I see a 9-inch treasure.
So,
My Lord, man.
what's up with the frat boys at LA Fitness?
Oh my God! If I see another guy take a photo, or if they come in with their own 3-foot like stick with their phone on it, and guys they're not even that good a shape that they're recording themselves like doing a bench press every single day. You go in there right now.
Well,
there's
you
somebody
got to work on your
recording
form. You got to work on your form.
No, they're recording themselves
Yes.
with a camera and a tripod.
with
They
the
put it on
tripod, yeah.
TikTok. It's
Yes.
workout
And
TikTok.
You know how many pictures I am in the background of people's photos every time I go into the locker room, someone's taking a photo of themselves posing into the light.
Do you
every
make
time.
do you make a face or something?
I
you should hold up a sign that says "I have treasure."
You got a
I
photo
try
bomb.
to get in the background of their photos so they'll stop taking photos. So I'm like my locker's right there, so I'm going to be right there.
Let's talk. Okay, let's talk about.
I'm going to check behind these posters while you guys
you don't
talk.
take fitness photos.
Well, it seems embarrassing that you're putting. Okay, and it's not embarrassing because I understand people work their ass off
Not
to
there.
look fit, right?
Yes.
I mean, it's hard work. If it was easy, everybody would do it, right? So I understand you're showing people like, look what hard work can do. It's impressive to be like ripped or fit,
yeah,
right?
the dedication involved. Sure.
But it is a weird thing, and not to throw throw him under the bus, but Eric Weber does this recently, where you take a picture.
He's clinging to youth, man.
Of yourself ripped. Now, good for him. He looks great. His body looks great.
Yeah, he does look great.
But it is, what are you showing people? Because you're not saying like, hey, you're not like promoting your workout product. You're just showing.
It appears that he's trying to let everybody know that he looks younger.
He's still got it.
For his age. What it tells me, and this is just me being honest, and I would say this to his face because I knew the guy when he lived here in town. We would hang out, like we go to dinner and stuff. It appears to me, as his friend, that getting older bothers him. That's what I'm seeing. And congrats on looking great, and congrats on posting that. I have no problem with that. But when I read that, I read it as a person that says, man, he's working really hard at trying to look young. And that's fine.
Now,
if you
hold
want
on.
to do that, do it. But I'm just saying that's what
is
I
he
read.
a little bit of an ego guy too?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And there's no problem with that either. I'm just saying it looks as if you are having a problem with your age, and you have to project that in some way.
So follow me here, though. Totally get that as a motivation.
Like
opposed
me,
to you.
look, I got gray in my beard. I guess I could dye it, but I don't care. I'm not that guy.
And
You know.
I understand you want to show people like, hey, look, I work out, I'm fit. And you want compliments of people saying, hey, you look good. I totally understand.
Yeah.
Or you're trying to sell your supplements or your workout sets, gym. Look,
I really understand it then. Like, if you have a supplement company and you look ripped, I'm like, I get it.
Yeah,
you
you're promoting
that's your
it.
business. It's no different than your van with a magnet on the side of it, you know?
And I feel like Eric Weber or anybody that's
I
taking
don't even know
pictures
what
of-
he does, dude. I'm just going to be honest with you.
But
Some sort of media, I'm sure. Still,
He has the Ace Awards website that I know he manages, and I don't know how he makes money from that, but hey, good for you.
because I feel like you could do it subtly and have your shirt off in like maybe your you could do it subtly if you do it where
like you're in a pool.
you're posing and you're on
the beach with your girlfriend. We're on vacation as opposed to just standing there.
yeah.
But
that's
there's
what I'm
other
saying.
things you're not factoring in. Maybe
Like,
he's single now. Maybe he wants to attract, a mate. I don't know. Like,
Because
there's other
then
reasons.
that- okay,
there's
so-
other reasons to put that on there
I'm
too.
a little with Tom. Where I don't like seeing guys on Facebook, even friends of mine, with their shirts off, constantly taking it bothers me a little bit too. I don't
if
like
they're not in that field.
if they're if they're promoting something, which I don't think I know anybody besides Petrozelli that is promoting something like with your
I
shirt
got a
off.
buddy. I got a buddy JC. He's a listener, and he's always been in that world. He's
Beach
always been
body
been a
stuff.
fitness dude. He's not selling it, but he's also in that culture. That's like his hobby. Does that count?
Yeah, that counts because I understand. It's just like
It's just
hey,
what he and
it's
his
the
girlfriend, I think it's his fiance now, I think that they are like dedicated to
I
CrossFit.
think they're proud of their work.
Yeah, they're proud.
Yeah, that's I get that too.
That's probably the
I'd
simple
be
answer.
posing if I looked like
Yeah,
that.
I just
Eric's
see a little bit of
just
ego
proud.
with it because I see it in this gym
It's
every
just
day.
weird. It's
I
a-
want to see their phone and see how many pictures of themselves they have. How many selfie pictures of themselves have they taken? You know, there's 1,000 of them.
It's weird
you
to
know?
just put out like, "Hey, look how good I look."
The unfortunate
it's
thing,
odd.
it can swing the opposite direction. Like me, you know, if you took my phone, you took Eric Weber's phone, Weber's going to have like thousands of selfies, right? If you take my phone, I'm going to have at least 12 to 18 pictures of my BH. You know what I mean? Like everybody does different things, man. Like, do you have any pictures
Let's
of your
mosey on.
holes on your phone? You
I
probably
do not.
don't.
We're getting warmer.
I feel like
I'll
I'm
tell
the
you.
only one that wants to find this goddamn treasure.
Well,
Because-
Tom and I also think that we're dealing with an insane person. So
I feel it. I'm pretty confident that when we find it,
I bet it's
I'm
in
gonna
one of
be
those
mad.
boxes, right? One of the games.
okay. The game-
'cause
They got
nobody plays the
A bunch
games.
of board games over
Okay.
here.
maybe it's behind the board
Check
games.
the cubbies at the bottom.
The
Yeah,
quintessential
check
board
the cubbies.
games.
Open the cubby and see what's down there.
All right, let's see what board.
What if we find a murder weapon or something?
Okay, this.
I'm checking under tables.
The 10
Someone put gum under here, Pat.
Oh, there's probably gum under a lot of these
Yeah, I
tables.
found some gum
Okay.
earlier. I ate it.
Follow me here.
Okay.
Uno 10,
Yes.
just like the Shawshank 10. Cadillac
okay,
Pat's a
yeah.
man of the 90s.
He is a man of the 90s.
You bury this under the rock that doesn't look like any other rock.
And Uno is a very
Red
90s
finds
game.
it.
Uno is a 90s game.
That's true.
No.
I mean, I can help you a little bit.
We
we
didn't
get
go
one
through the
coin
cards.
out.
What if one of those
These are
cards
all-
is a
There's all
What's
games.
that gold thing?
That's a Bible. Open
Get
that
the Bible,
Bible.
get the
There's
Bible.
money in that Bible.
100%.
That's it. That's the treasure.
An Irish Bible.
No, open it. That's the treasure. I guarantee you that's the treasure.
No.
Oh my God! You found Holy crap! We found the treasure so fast. All right, let's get out of here.
Okay, it's
How
an
cute.
Irish Bible, and then there's a cutout in the middle, like
to put a flask. It was
yeah.
a racial, non-racial. It used to be a really bad Irish joke.
Yeah.
It was like, this is an Irish Bible. It's shaped like a flask.
There's a Mexican work boot in here. I'm sorry. Hold on. Here we go.
There's a sticker from
All
Cadillac
right, what does it
Pat.
say?
What
It
is
usually leaves a
right, here we
note
go.
of encouragement.
There's a Cadillac Pat
It says
sticker.
8/24/22. I hope this brings you good luck. Love, Cadillac Pat.
Oh, you just put this
That's
in
the voice
here.
of the-
Yeah, that one I use this one every 6 months or so, but I can't because once somebody finds it, I gotta.
Oh, then it's please return the book to the bar. That's kind
The management.
I
You think
gotta
the
recycle.
management-
Use it again. He's recycling.
Yeah, Pat, that's kind of
Somebody
cheesy.
tried to steal your Irish Bible, right?
Yeah, it's kind of cheesy. I mean, just
Did you
buy a
have
new
to
one.
beat up some LA fitness guy? You're like,
I mean-
hey, give me back my Irish Bible.
I mean, one good night of tips is like $180, right? It's like you have a real good night.
Oh, way more than that.
Oh, okay. I'm still living.
How
in
many
the
Irish Bibles do you
2002.
have?
I only have this one.
Have you ever lost any
Also,
of them?
it's
Yeah,
Pat.
I had
He's getting
two.
tips.
That's why.
He had two. He had one stolen.
Oh, and you get one free draft from Cadillac Pat. Look at that.
Oh,
Yeah.
but it's not at your bar. That's weird. Why would you put it down?
It's at his house. That's his home address.
Yeah, it's for the brass tap.
Then you use a Sharpie and cross out your business card with a
No,
Sharpie.
because it said buy one get one free on there, and I'm just trying to give somebody a free beer. I don't want to make them buy one.
Oh, wait a minute. So you can make your own deals here? You're just like, I'm just going to change this. Oh,
Yeah,
wait,
I
there's a
wanna-
couple
And then
bucks.
$2.
Two random
Do
single
you, write,
dollars.
you need to write crazy phrases on the dollar.
On the dollars? Okay.
Yeah, you got to make it a little crazy. It's not quite crazy enough.
I am keeping all this.
Oh, you found the treasure.
You found the treasure.
You found the treasure.
Do you want to get your free beer now or later?
No, I'll
Yeah,
keep it for
yeah,
later.
yeah.
I put it in my pocket.
You got to give him the book
Yeah,
back.
you
now.
got to return that to the
I'm
bar.
just going to leave that here. Right
Yeah,
on
just
top.
leave it there.
Yeah.
It's good.
Oh, wow.
All right. Should we try one for the outside?
Yeah,
or?
let's go. Let's go
right,
outside.
It's out back, so it's shaded. at
I
least.
would like to point out that Cadillac Pat is now wearing Cadillac brand Nikes.
Yes,
They're
that's
like
true.
Amazon, I think.
Oh, my God.
A buddy of mine gave these to me as a gift.
I love those. Those are great.
Yeah, they are pretty good, and they're pretty comfy actually for cheap like Amazon shoes.
I mean, they're definitely not made by Cadillac. It's just,
No.
it's a cheap Chinese
Those,
Alibaba garbage.
those
with
are
Cadillac. I mean,
are
for sure, they didn't get
beautiful
permission.
Flea World shoes.
Yeah. They didn't get
Basically.
they didn't get permission from Cadillac to
No.
put that on their shoes.
You don't need permission anymore, dude. You know that.
I
I
know.
think you got them from the Magic Mall.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan.
We are with Sam and Gannon.
Oh, man.
That's a lot to say. Tom, Dan,
I guess
Sam, Gannon.
Sam and Gannon.
And we are on location at Old Kinderhook in Apopka.
Can you take me seriously with my laser goggles on?
yeah.
We got very, very good look.
I look like LeVar Burton. Tiny white LeVar Burton.
And we are glass blowing today.
Yeah.
Getting after it.
So,
It's weird screaming in here. It's like...
first, I'm very upset I had to wear shoes today.
Yeah. Oh,
Hey,
all
I've
he's
never
been
seen
this
talking
in my
about.
life. I've never seen this in my life. First time.
It's
Yeah.
all he's been talking about
We
are the
found out in
shoes.
the parking lot. He doesn't know how to tie his shoes.
No, I know how to tie them.
He also, once he's bent over, there's no going back up.
We had
It's
to
like,
help
give me a
him up.
hand. Give me back up.
I was texting Gannon. I'm like, do I really have to wear shoes? And
He
he's
asked
like,
three
for
times. He asked
insurance.
3 different times.
Yeah.
Like, hey, so
I'm like-
I know you, right? We're friends.
Right. Now,
We're going after hours. We're like, I'm not gonna. I'm fine with. I'm not gonna spill a molten glass on my feet.
well, like what I was thinking about, like, is there a prerequisite maybe, or is there a type of glass that you would want that, or excuse me, type of shoe? Like, is a boot?
A boot's
Would a Van
I mean,
work? Like, I've got Vans on.
Van's the best shoe. You know what I mean? That's what
Yeah.
I mean.
You've got
Vans,
on Chucks.
I got the Chucks. You know, like just having a shoe that covers your foot
No, he
completely.
has on, like, you're wearing your Vibrams of
Yeah,
five
you look
fingers.
like you're cross
He's
country
wearing
right
those
now.
Vibram five fingers.
It's
You're
only
wearing your
10
triathlons,
No, he doesn't
you
have
know?
those on.
I've got this and business loafers.
They're big Stacey Adams. Big brown Stacey Adams. Looks like he's going to Pine Hills Prom.
Oh my God.
So Gannon, okay, where do we start?
Okay,
Because-
so basically what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be making a small little pendant, kind of like start
I don't
to
want
finish.
to make a pendant. I want to make a ginormous mega bong.
You want to jump right into level
I want to make a
37.
6-foot ripper, dude.
hold on, I'm here to make a one-hitter. That's what I thought.
He wants to make a one-hitter.
Wait a minute.
I wanna
We're
make-
leaving. We're leaving.
I want to make the biggest bong to rip weed, mad weed.
He goes, I want to know that class.
Yeah.
The
Where
reality
is
is
the
we got to
Rip Mad
walk.
Weed class?
We got to walk before we can run. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And so everybody wants to, start off making big stuff, bongs, big sea elaborate turtles, all kinds of stuff. But we start small, so we finish big. We start off by making a small little pendant like that. I'm going to walk y'all through it step
Can
by
we
step.
call it an amulet? Because I feel like amulet is better. Pendant
Small
is for like
amulet.
your junior wizards. I'm an established wizard.
So Gannon, let's start from the beginning. How the hell did you even learn to glass
Oh,
blow?
man, dude.
I know, how long has Old Kinderhook been around? Because
So this has been around. This location's almost 4 years old now, but
Yeah.
I've been doing it for almost 10 years, man.
That's what I said in the car. I said
it's
10
crazy.
years.
Yeah.
I have to take these glasses off. I can't take myself seriously.
I remember when you started this and you were building it out, and congratulations on all the success. The
Thank you,
fire
thank
truck
you.
is
Oh,
awesome,
now
by the
you
way.
say it.
Thank you.
Now
Thank
you
you.
say it to him 4 years in the game. Now that we know
He'll
he's
never
a
make it.
success.
He'll never
Well,
make it.
you gotta
Yeah,
wait.
now that we know he's a success, we're like, hey, congrats on your little glass blowing thing. But
been looking
beforehand,
good.
we thought you were an idiot, a complete glass blowing idiot.
No,
Magic glass blowing total dummy.
Yeah, why are you picking all carnival like acts?
No, listen, Gannon is the biggest hustler I know. Like he is.
You say that about everyone.
No, well,
he only knows hustlers.
Tiffany, Gannon.
You know, that's how I.
yeah.
That sounds kind of bad.
The only people that you give credit to are hustlers.
Gannon grinds, and when I saw like,
Ooh, you
with
should
any,
get that handle.
with any small business, it's difficult, and usually surviving the first year is the biggest hurdle.
And he's made it 4.
Yeah,
And what's
yeah.
crazy
So we
is-
had time the other 3 years we could have said, hey, congrats on your success. But we
Congrats,
didn't.
no, we'll
we
hold that
chose
back.
to
We'll
go
reserve.
full 4 years, and we chose to come out here, and only when you were giving us a free glass sea turtle.
Once I saw the fire truck, I was like, "Oh, he made it."
Yeah. It's not even a fire. It's not even a fire truck like a regular fire truck. It's a fire truck that's doinked out. It's like a doinked out fire truck.
It's
with
serious.
It's a serious fire truck.
It's serious. It's got 24-inch Alcoa wheels, 35s. It's fun to cruise around. It's got a diesel engine in it. So
Tom walked by it. I swear to God, he looked at it. He goes, "Ooh la la, boots with the fur." That's what he said.
How the hell do you know how to do everything, Gannon? How do
Dude,
you know how to build a
trial
fire truck
and
and blow
error.
glass
Trial and error, man.
remodel my house?
You know, this is
that was a lot of
truly-
trial and error trials.
This is truly what Rod Stewart meant when he said, "Some guys have all the luck."
Right place, right time, guys. Trial and error, 90% of it, But my dad taught me a lot of stuff when I was a kid. I got crafty, and then I grew up on a torch. You know, I grew up in a hot rod shop doing
Grew
auto
up
body.
on a torch?
You know, like I
Country
grew up,
song.
No one says that.
Riding on my track.
That's like
Somebody
somebody.
came out of a flame in my hand.
I grew up on the torch, man. No, so I grew up.
A lot of people in Florida grow up on a torch.
It's a different kind of torch. It is a glass pipe, but it's a different.
Yeah.
Torch and a glass pipe.
Yeah.
It's for roses.
And then
It's for
my
roses.
mom worked at Disney, and so I used to always watch those guys at Disney do the little glass figurines and stuff. And like I was like, man, that's badass.
It is
but
really
But I'm a
cool.
cool kid. And then 10 years ago, a guy called me up. Hey, man, I'm gonna be blowing glass in my garage. You want to come by? Went by, smoked a left-handed cigarette, fired up the torch, and then next
We
thing
don't
you know,
advise that.
I was bit by
For
the
those
fire.
of you that are new to the torches, leave the left-handed
Yeah,
cigarette
left-handed
alone.
cigarettes for novice only. Novice only.
I have never been invited to an old man's garage to
Yes,
blow
you
glass.
have. Yes, you have.
No, I haven't. I have to
One
blow
time
glass.
we did a burger event with Johnny
No, that
from
was
Johnny's
Old
Other
Man's
Side,
Bar.
and an old man invited him into his Mustang, and
Did he
Tom
get-
gave him a hand.
Oh,
come
man.
on.
What kind of other seats did I have?
I'll have to cut myself out. But that's true.
No,
it's
that's
never
not
been said
true.
before.
That's actually
Can you make a glass hand? Like, can we make that?
It's
happen?
an interpretive dance art.
Gannon needs to get started blowing the glass. So,
All right.
Oh my
So we're gonna
God.
rock and roll. I'm gonna have Brittany, pretty much my wife here, hold the phone or the microphone for
Pretty
us.
mu- oh, congratulations,
yeah.
guys.
We're pretty much
I like that.
two in a pod. You know, we do it all
I like
together.
that.
do you have a lot of home projects that you got to get done for Brittany? Because I imagine because I can't do anything, but if I could do something, my wife would make me do everything in the house.
Blow some glass, you idiot. Get in there and make me a turtle.
Like the baseboards need to be done.
Make glass baseboards, you idiot.
She's got a little list for me, but overall she's really good. She kind of holds
we
down the
met her.
fort.
She's very
she's
nice.
awesome.
She's very
is,
sweet.
She holds down everything. My house, the studio, everything,
Yeah.
and we're together. We're a great team. I couldn't ask for
You
a better
guys are
partner.
just
You know what I
a
mean?
hunk of burning love.
Yeah, but I
right
mean,
here in a Popka.
You know what I mean? We're doing our thing. But so what we're going to do is we're going to start. Let's get our glasses on. Everybody throw those on. And
Do I
so
really need the glass? Like if
Oh, yeah.
I'm standing
This is
straight
the
at the
part
fire
that
right
this
now.
is the part that doesn't scare me. This is the part that scares me more than the shoes because this is when you rot out your eyeballs.
Yeah, exactly.
My uncle Randy can weld with no glasses. He just turns away
Right.
and said it's fine.
puts his hand up. He's like, yeah, we're good. Lays a solid
And it's
3-inch
usually
bead just with his
it's
hand
not
there.
real welding. It's just when guys are they're just tacking something on there, and they just turn away and hit it.
That's me. I do that in
Yeah,
the garage.
turn
She's
away
like,
and
put your
hit it.
helmet on.
Yeah.
Put your eyes on. You can't see nothing.
And he said you could blink the spots out.
Just blink it away, drive into the sunset. Same thing. You know?
My dad said, with the way the world looks now, he doesn't want to see it.
True.
Well, okay, so you got the
was
torch.
negative.
And so the reason is we put these glasses on is because we.
That doesn't matter that Tom signed the safety release as
all y'all
Donald
signed the
Duck.
safety waiver forms. But the reality is we've done over
He did draw a
4,500
D
lessons
on the
here.
end.
No
4,500
accident.
lessons.
Right here where we stand, no accidents, burns, or injuries.
Congratulations.
Because we take our time and really, we don't want to touch the table. We wear the glasses for that UV ultraviolet light. We use the, and we don't want to touch anything that's hot. And then when I say that, we just keep our hands out of the direct fire, keep our hands out of the end that we're going to put in the fire. It's pretty easy. We start slow and just slowly start spinning the rods. Very easy.
So you're spinning a rod of glass right now. Is this normal glass?
So this is borosilicate glass. This is some of the hardest and strongest glass on the planet. It's like this is what test tubes, beakers, scientific glass, bongs are made out of. It's very strong
What
and
about a
durable
butt
glass.
plug? Would you
That
want-
too. You want a strong, good, durable butt
I'm here
plug. You
to
don't
make
want
a butt plug.
a cheap glass butt plug. That's for sure. And so we're just
That's
spinning
true.
it right
You
now.
don't want- you don't want a cheap glass butt plug. You can't. Next thing you know,
You
you're
don't want it
calling
to break
Safe
up.
Flight out.
Exactly.
They're trying
Goes
to
in
replace
one
it.
way, comes out
Oh,
another
come
way.
on.
You know what I mean?
Safe Flight repair.
Gannon, so you're now just heating the glass to make it soft?
Yeah, so what I'm doing is I'm spinning this solid 12 millimeter rod in the fire, and I'm actually spinning it around. I'm actually taking some of the old glass off of it, kind of giving ourselves a fresh start. Now kind of angle this glass down, and now we're actually spinning this glass rod, kind of creating some centrifugal force. Gravity's pushing down, and we're actually starting to balance a liquid gather of glass at the end of a rod. And
Can I ask you a question about
Yeah.
the old glass? Am I correct in thinking that since that glass had already been heated, I'm guessing that maybe is that why you're getting rid of it? Has it
Yeah,
already
well-
chemically been changed?
No,
or?
it's so when I pick up a rod, there's a lot, if it's a fresh break, you want to kind of remove that. It'll leave a scar on the surface of the glass. And
Gotcha.
also, too, when you pick up a fresh rod, you're not sure how it was left last, if it was cooled down improperly. And so you just want to kind of
Gotcha.
clear the canvas. And so now I'm bringing that rod out of the fire, and you can see it's got like a glass marble at the end of our rod.
That is mesmerizing.
And I'm spinning. If I stop spinning, it's just going to droop down. So we continually spin to allow that to kind of slowly cool down.
So, Gannon, is this like a combination of like pottery
A little bit because of the way
Well, pottery is way more gay than this.
Yeah,
I think.
Patrick
That's just a
Swayze's
person-
come here to
that's just
help
me
us.
personally.
I'm just saying because you're working with a substance that's continually like falling because
This
of
is
gravity.
like
100%.
pottery.
Gravity is a big deal. Gravity is a big deal. Same thing with pottery. You're using gravity to manipulate the medium.
But different
100%.
than pottery, this is for guys that got fat nuts.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're
Big
working
old
with fire,
pickles.
you know.
And
you're
now
not-
we'll go down to our graphite pad, and we'll actually start to kind of make this into our pendant. We'll flatten that down. We'll squish that glass down, and it kind of looks like a pendant now.
wow.
This will be the part we wear.
Or the
this will be the
flange
part
on
we
a butt
see.
plug.
Very much so. So it doesn't go all the way in.
Come on.
You got to have a stopping point.
So you smush the ball, the bead of glass, into a flat pendant shape.
And
on
now
a
we're going to go
graphite-
through, and we're actually going to gather up some color. It's some broken up pieces of
Oh,
color.
you put some sprinkles on
And
it.
so, yeah, some sprinkles, if you will, some
Okay.
glass sharp
Wow,
sprinkles.
yeah, those are
and so
rainbow
those are on the
sprinkles.
back now. We've picked those up, and that's called frit. They're just little crushed up pieces of colored glass.
Frit.
And now we're going to actually start melting those pieces of glass into the back of our pendant.
Oh, this is way cooler than I thought it
And
was.
it's really
man. This
about
is
slow
dope.
and steady. You notice
This
I
is
haven't
dope.
really been like spinning fast. It's really about taking our time.
It's very peaceful. It's very calming.
Very, very meditation-like
I was going to
state.
say, this is meditative. You could use this to kind of calm
Zen
anxiety.
yourself out.
Yeah,
Zen
because
yourself
if you
out.
get too crazy in here, you're going to end up hurting yourself. So you
It's
can't.
about going slow. You know, one of the greatest glass sculptors, Robert Mickelson, he's been doing it for over 50 years. One of the guys that taught me along the way. He said the only way to rush glass is take your time in glass. That's it. That's all you can
Gotcha.
do is
You're
take
a
your
Mickelson
time.
fan, Tom.
Yeah.
Does he have a ponytail?
Yeah, I'm sure he does. Right? Yeah, I feel like
He
Gannon
used,
is
he
the
used to
only
have, he
glass-
used to have a ponytail. Now he
Yeah.
got it short. He got it
Is
contemporary.
it weird? How long did
I
it
would've
take
bet
you to
$10,000 on
get?
that.
How long did it take you to get or have the other glass blowers like take you seriously not having a ponytail?
It's like once he cut it off,
Like,
he's
is
been
it hard?
doing it for 40
Was
plus
it hard
years.
for you to break through? I feel like almost like Eminem breaking.
I had to
into
wear a
hip-hop.
headband to kind of
Right.
fake him out for a little bit. They're like, oh, does he have long hair? Does he
Right,
not?
right.
What's
Yeah.
going on?
So Gannon, I see what you did with.
I
the,
can't see a
with-
lick. My eyes are straight black. Whatever. It's whatever happens.
What's going on?
Yeah, I can't see nothing.
And so what I'm doing now is I'm basically, we've kind of made our pendant. We've put the color on the back of it. And so now what we're doing is we're giving ourselves a handle to hold onto our pendant so we could take it away from that big rod. And we just reach out, heat up our little rod.
So
give
the
it a,
pendant now is squished. It has the sprinkles in it.
the sprinkles.
God.
But it's still connected to the rod.
Starts
Still
with an
connected to the
F.
rod.
The
And now
sprinkles
we're
start with
actually
an F,
heating where that big rod, 12 millimeter rod, meets that pendant. And we're heating it up. And we're actually going to pull that away, leaving us just our small little pendant. Getting it nice and hot. And you can see it get loosey-goosey on us.
Yeah, that's how I every night.
And
I'm-
then just like that, we'll slowly start to pull away.
Oh, look
And
at
we'll go
that.
over and under. And we got ourselves a little witch's hat. And it's not what we're making, but it's kind of like in the shape of a witch's hat. And so now we're just going to remove that extra material and kind of
I
show
mean,
our
it is
pendant.
seasonal. You could
Very
keep
seasonal,
the
yeah,
witch's
yeah.
hat.
And
You
we
could
do
do
have
like a-
seasonal. We do have seasonal stuff that kind of comes and goes. We've got witches hats coming up in October. Christmas ornaments goes year round. But we have a lot of cool stuff coming down the pipeline for our seasonal Christmas ornaments.
What's the number one the pendant? When people come in here and they make a pendant,
They make
what's-
this. So that's lesson 1, and we only have a series of 5 lessons, so people can actually get up to speed really quickly. It's a terrible business plan to only see someone 5 times, but it's really about getting someone in here, showing them the ropes, because we encourage people to buy their own torch. That's what we want, is you to go home and do this yourself. I know it seems crazy and scary, but once you kind of understand the fundamentals of it, you're ready to do this. Just like I did 10 years ago in a garage.
Well,
that's
if I
what it's all
wanted
about.
to start a rig, if I wanted to put one of these, and I would assume you want me to do this in my garage, not like upstairs on my 4th floor.
Yeah, that's kind of frowned upon on the
Tom's
upstairs.
Hoarder Garage is an
And so
exact
we're actually
space
in
to do
November.
this.
We're going to start selling complete portable workstations that you can bring home and put in your garage. And
So
so,
you
now
guys are kind of doing like a craft beer brew at home version, but with
Blow
glass
at
wood.
home.
glass.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That is
and
really
so
cool.
now we've got a pendant on the end of our little small rod. You can see inside
Beautiful.
of it. It's like a little magnifying glass. It's got a convex lens. It's a curved piece of glass. So it makes it look like those little pieces of glass are a little bit bigger. And now we're actually going to switch our handles so it gives us a little bit, gives us a different axis. And so this move I'm going to help y'all with. It takes a little bit of time to kind of get going right.
This is the triple Lindy.
But it goes just like this. It's called a stick and snap. We'll reach out, stick it, and snap it. And that allows us to switch axis. And so now we'll just get our mini torch.
So you snapped one rod off because the whole thing is that you need the glass rod
To hold onto it.
To hold on to it. Seems like you couldn't get any sort of tweezers or
Yeah,
something.
like a coat hanger. He's an old coat hanger.
Well, you can use metal and glass, and when you see the glass blowing on the TV with like big poles, they use actual metal handles. But with our type of glass, we use smaller glass rods. It's a lot easier to work with, a lot easier to maneuver and snap away for those moves that we just did. And now, what we're going to do is we're going to put a loop, a bail. We're going to finish this thing off. We're just going to gather up some material just like this. Nice.
Unlike the older gentlemen I've seen on TV do this with like bigger pieces of glass, normally those are like strange-looking, larger Italian men with their butt cracks hanging out. And they're
Very much
really
so.
dirty, and they seem to be doing this in some sort of a war zone. They're making
90%.
Yeah.
90% of all this glass is that's sort of how you perceive glass blowing. Hot, nasty, dirty, and that's the way it's been for hundreds of years. And now we're trying to change that. We're trying to clean it up. You know, when you came in this
your
studio,
shop is gorgeous.
Yeah,
dude.
it's
This place is
68
awesome.
degrees, climate controlled year round. We have 15 tons of air conditioning being pumped into this little space.
So again, how old is the glass blowing as a I don't know what
Art form?
Art form.
Yeah,
a hobby,
thousands of years. If it dates back to the Venetian days, they're the ones that started this with making small vessels to hold perfume, oils, and lavenders and
You're a
poisons.
fan.
And
Venetian sausages.
yeah, and so it's been around forever. This type of glass has been around for a couple hundred years. You know, this type of glass. This is some scientific glass. So they actually stumbled upon this type of glass by making different types of glass, and that's how.
Scientific glass.
That's
I
what
don't
they
believe
did.
in no goddamn
And so it can
fountain
handle
glass.
high.
I'll
They,
tell you
basically,
that right now.
boron trioxide is what they mix with this glass to make it handle this heat and make it move the way it does, make it incredibly strong the way it is. And so now what we're going to do is we're just going to pinch a small hole right there in the top so we can wear our pendant.
Oh, yeah, now I
Kinda
can
go back
hang it
and
from my
forth.
nipple.
It is a nipple pendant. And so now we've got our small little hole in there. Let's open it up a little bit. And these little pendants, you know, the reason we start small, I'm going to show you guys when we get done. I made a hunk of junk the first time 10 years ago. And we have people of all ages, 13 and up. We had a lady, 87, come in here and make a pendant better the first time she ever did this than I did. It's not that I'm like some great teacher. We just slow things down.
I bet you wish she died immediately leaving here, right? Like,
Way better than me. No,
Yeah,
and so
you're
now
like
we'll
that
use our
bitch.
graphite reamer, make our hole nice, pretty, and round. And bada bing, guys.
That's awesome.
Got ourselves a finished pendant.
It's
and
beautiful.
so we'll just get rid of the small rod or handle that's holding it on. We'll heat up our metal tweezers.
Gannon, how are you able to have such finesse?
Yeah,
with-
he makes
I'm a
it look
magician.
super easy.
I'm a
right?
magician.
We've been doing it for a
He does
decade.
these sleight of hand magic.
Yeah, I know that.
and-
I know that. But you have, no offense, giant gorilla hands.
They're size 9XLs.
They're-
9XLs.
Those are the most elegant mitts I've ever seen. Like, it's funny because when they're coming at you, you're like, oh, here comes Wreck-It Ralph. But when he touches you, you're like, holy crap, he touches you like an angel.
How do you have such finesse?
Yeah, like-
with such
He
big...
did lightly shake my hand like a
Handle.
princess.
Yeah, like-
it takes a while
My
to train
God.
these things when you've got big XL hands like this.
Yeah, but you're like, I swear to God, they're big and fat like Charles Barkley, but they have the finesse of Penny Hardaway on the court. They're like a point guard.
It's
man.
really about the magic, man. That's
Yeah.
really what it was, man. The magic softened me up and made them nice and smooth.
We have to take a picture of my tiny petite girl hands.
Soft.
Little small
what are you talking
hands.
about? I got a little person, big world hand. We put it next to his. Oh, he's putting it in. You put it in.
And so
What, ice box?
I just put it inside a kiln. It's 1,050 degrees in there.
that looked like an ice cream
you're
freezer.
Yeah, it did.
I'm
You
heating
just
it up.
burned it up.
Well, like, so the bottom of that pendant was real hot, but the top was actually cooler than the bottom. And so we're even out the heat, getting it all hot, and we're going to evenly cool it down. That process is called annealing. It's what gives glass its strength.
Yeah.
5 to 10 times.
That's what I
its
do with the
strength.
swords that I make in
And
my garage.
Just like that, that
Oh,
little
wow.
pendant can withstand that break, that drop without breaking.
Better than an iPhone.
It's kind of like the pipes, you know, when you see water pipes, you know, or tobacco pipes, they throw it across the ground at festivals and stuff. It's the same thing, and it's really the basis of two things. It's been properly annealed, and also the work that they actually put in to make it was done right. They took their time, they made it right, they annealed it, they kind of bonded it all together, and that's how you get this super incredibly strong glass.
So, Gannon, I know, like, you know, with everybody learning how to do this first, you start off with the pendant, and then where does it get to, like, the experts, and then what's your level of glass blowing expertise? Like, what's the hardest thing to do? Like, I imagine...
Like, what does a black belt in glass blowing do?
I'll tell you. Black Mountain Glass will make a glass frog with a psychedelic top hat that's smoking out of a peace pipe riding a skateboard.
It's probably the tinier details, right? That are
Very
the harder
much so. The
things?
smaller you get, the more intrinsic it gets. But, I've been very fortunate, man. Around year 4, I was just caveman style. A guy showed me, and then I went home, and I made this ugly hunk of junk. Right here. I mean, this was me 10 years ago. I made this. This is my very first piece of glass I made.
That
the
is
bail.
terrible.
I like
Yeah, it's
that you've
terrible.
kept that for 10 years and Tom loses AirPods every day.
It's amazing that you kept your
Well, because it
original
kind of like meant something. Yeah, I knew
glass
it was,
marble.
I
That's-
knew.
that
Well,
was
no,
the
this was a
beginning.
pendant.
That's
That's
the
how
start.
terrible it is.
yeah, that's a start.
And so, but this is where my journey begins. And you see people come in that's never done this and give it a shot, make something better than I
Even
did.
looking at your soon-to-be wife, the way she shuddered when she looks at this, she was like, "Oh my god, it's disgusting.
It is terrible,
It's
but
horrifying."
it's really about taking our time. And when I started taking lessons around year 4, I started taking some from the best in the world. Robert Mickelson, a couple of these guys has been doing it for 20, 30, 40, 50 plus
Gary
years.
Glass.
And that's when it exploded for me. That's when it was like, man, I'm learning how to do all this stuff.
Petey
And I'd ask them,
Pyrex.
why are you giving this stuff away? And they all say, well, I'm going to die one day and it all goes with me. And it made me think about this place. Like, what about beginners? What about where I was 10 years ago making hunks of junk? Give people the crash course to get the kind of ball rolling to get them
Keep
to
it
do
moving,
it.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan.
We are on location at Seth's dojo.
We really are. I mean, like, hopefully you can hear it. There should be a bit of an echo.
Yeah.
In our voice, and then Seth is here. So,
Yes.
you-
Sometimes I do play background music to make the atmosphere even more like inviting.
now, do you do a traditional like karate? Like, are you
I
using
go
traditional
all
Japanese
in.
music?
So I
or?
want you to think you're in Japan as
Okay.
you walk in the doors.
Now-
which I don't know if that's appropriating the
I
business
mean,
or not.
there's a fine
it's a
line,
Japanese
right?
dojo.
There's a fine line.
I do want to point out Seth's cheapness in the
What?
1 water per training session.
yeah.
You have a one
What if I've really worked up I mean, I'm
Gonna
really
pass
kicking and
out.
punching.
First of all, cheapness, those are free, so nobody has to pay for
Yeah,
those
but only
bottled
one.
water. What are you, a greedy water
I'm out
bottle
here
holders?
sweating.
I'm
you
just
know?
saying-
I put in 2 expensive water fountains. I built this whole place out.
Here's
They
what I
can
would
fill-
do,
they can fill one
though.
up
Here's
with
what
that.
I would do that would make Seth equally mad. I would tell him, I'd be like, okay, Sensei, I saw your sign. It says 1 water per training session. But I hope you know that now, whether I need it or not, I'm
every time.
taking
Yeah.
water.
That's
Every
happened too.
time.
They literally on the way out of the training, I see them grab him and walk out the
Yeah,
door.
yeah,
I'm
and
like,
then you're mad. You're
or
like,
stop my 7-Eleven.
exactly. No, what if I grabbed the water and as I was walking out, I threw it in the trash? Because that's
That
my
counts.
way
Yeah.
of combating you and your
protesting.
cheapness is to show you the error of your ways.
Well, then you just hate the earth, so I don't know.
Well, it says digging it out
Yeah.
the trash. Now,
Put it back
It
in
was
the
mainly for the kids because they have like 20 unopened water bottles after
Yeah.
every
And
kids
a lot of
class.
parents
They get
don't
very
care.
mad.
They don't send their kids with water.
No, yeah,
and
exactly.
now
yeah.
I'm going to preface this go-to show by saying that Seth was serious about me not joking around too much.
Yeah, don't
about
crap on the dojo.
because
Yes,
this is
I've heard this
business,
many, many times.
And this is serious karate.
Yeah.
and this is
It's something that
You can't even say it with a straight face. Seriously,
I'm
karate.
saying.
No, but it really is something that he takes very seriously. He respects
Yeah, yeah.
it. It is like it's your baby, right?
Yes, exactly.
So I'm not gonna-
It's been my life since I was as far as I can remember. So
So I'm not going to, show any blatant disrespect to
Right.
your business or your discipline.
Did you notice it smells like cherry blossoms in here?
I didn't notice that.
that's another part.
yeah, just, that's a little appropriation.
Those are scratch and
Yeah.
sniff, actually.
Scratch and sniff cherry blossom mural on the
Yes.
wall.
And I also noticed right when you walk in, there is a big faux wood trellis.
No, that's
of
not
the-
faux. That's
real wood.
That's legit.
okay.
That's
it's
built
real
from the
wood, but
ground
he
up,
aged it to make it look like
It's been
It's
painted
spooky
to make it
season,
look
so
cool.
the
Yeah.
cobwebs are a nice.
he made. Yeah, there
That's
is some,
very hard to keep.
You gotta get
I
some dust.
document and I dust it a lot,
Ooh,
but that
wow.
happens because you know why the fans are on every single day. And
Oh
it
man, you
blows
gotta clean that
Yeah,
thing.
you got to
No, I
clean those
clean that
fans.
too. It's very hard.
It looks as if
Well,
you're
you're already crapping on
Oh my
it.
god!
I thought
She
you
was
cleaned
at
it
the
up for us.
dust.
I
I
do.
do.
I
She
She
thought
thought it
these
was-
fans are pumping the pollen right into my nostrils.
She
as
thought
I'm
it was
kicking and
Halloween
punching.
I
decoration.
did.
Okay, so let's.
But anyway, it's called the tori, Tori, tori. It's a traditional tori.
Tori.
So at the
Tori.
at the entrance, usually to a lot of traditional karate schools,
Am I saying it right?
tori.
Toi.
Ours are pronounced like L's, tori.
Tori.
Now we are standing in the observation area, or
This is where moms stand.
Yeah,
This is where I don't want them to.
Jonathan!
I have the smallest area up here on purpose because I'd rather them drop their kids off and leave than sit and watch
Right.
and have the kids
They don't
look
want to
at them
see your
all the time.
bedside manner. You're screaming and you're red-faced Rogan.
and by sit and watch, you mean sit and look at their phones.
Yeah, but they're not watching you.
What every parent is doing
Yeah.
every time they
You
drop
actually
the
have to get their attention. You're like, excuse me, ma'am, we are done here. You need to
Please leave.
You need to take your free bottle of water and leave.
Now, when we cross over onto,
You have to take your shoes off.
do I
Well, I
have
was
to-
hoping you wouldn't because then you have to do knuckle push-ups. If you don't take your shoes off and you step foot on here, it's
Oh,
knuckle
see, I
push-ups.
follow you to hell. I already I naturally, the way that I was born is to be like super respectful. Instantly looking out for you, I'm like, you got to take the shoes off.
Now, I have a problem with my feet where the actual bottom of my actual
You got
feet
flat
are
feet.
more disgusting
worse.
than
Yeah.
the sandals. So I'm just warning you. I have also extreme foot odor.
Well, they are. He could. Do you want him to
The
leave?
sandals aren't stopping the foot odor from emanating out.
He also has a condition called slap foot, where as he walks, his
Oh,
feet
man.
they whip slap the ground
just
like
a
a
flat.
dragon,
I gotcha,
like
okay.
a dragon or a crocodile would use its tail to defend
I
itself. His
gotcha.
feet crocodile slap themselves.
All right, I'm taking my sandals off.
I'll take my
There's
shoes
a
off.
shoe rack right here. I'm
Yeah, I
assuming
got
this is a shoe rack.
It's a shoe rack. Yeah. That's,
Oh, I got
that's a
poo poo on the front of my shoe.
No, you
Look
already
at
brought
that.
You already brought that in. That's
I
great.
got a little bit of poo poo on the front of my
Keep
shoe.
the poo poo
Now-
off the floor because
now-
this is a very expensive dojo floor that I put in. I'm not kidding. So it has 3 layers actually. I can pull these up to have a traditional hardwood Japanese floor, which I trained on growing up. There's heater hose running over under the entire thing, so the whole thing is spring loaded. It's bouncy, a little bit
Yeah,
bouncy.
cool.
So that way it's easy on your knees. It's easy to do takedowns, and then the mats are just for we do a lot
Extra
more
protection,
extra protection. Yeah, but the mats are kind of hard.
And the fact that, and I remember when you were going through this, didn't you? It hurt your heart to pony up for the mats that have the faux flooring look. He wanted to buy
because-
the cheaper mats that were like just one color, but he didn't. He ponied up for the expensive ones.
I did.
Everything
I did.
here,
Well-
against your best wishes, you went all out.
But it looks way nice. It looks
But
more
you're
like a
so
traditional
cheap.
floor.
Why here? Is it just because this is your baby?
Yeah,
Why is this the
because-
only? Like you'll cheap out on your girlfriend, you'll cheap out on your house. You're making your dad install your flooring, and all this stuff. But at your dojo, you'll put the money into it. Why?
Yeah, well, because I care about this a lot more. I
Yeah.
guess. I mean, I don't care.
Have
I don't
you
care
ever
about
seen a-
more than your dad.
More than anything, like literally, this is, dude. When I tell you that,
I mean,
that
if I had
day,
a choice of this falling into a pit of fire and my girlfriend, I try to grab both, but I might. Let
but
go of
not
Tracy.
to, not to bring
I
this
love you,
up.
Tracy.
But remember the day that you decided not to show up to his dojo opening.
No, okay. Well, I had an emergency.
I understand that, but I'm just showing you how this guy. I thought he was going to cry.
no,
I was upset because
He was very upset.
I text Seth. I'm like, listen, I have an emergency. I am dealing with this. I'm sorry. I'll make it up to you.
Yeah, no, I believe you.
But
I'm just showing you that this man, this means a lot to him. This
Truthfully,
place.
I just wanted to break the bat on your stomach and then break some of those. That's all. I really wanted
That's what I
to do.
know.
That's
Seth
all.
doesn't really care about anything.
So would you be open at this time typically, or are we here on after hours?
No, you're here before hours. So I start my first class is at 12 noon.
Now-
is my afternoon classes, and I have a good afternoon little bunch that comes the same guys and girls every single Tuesday and Thursday. So it's nice.
Before we make the transition on to the dojo floor,
Oh, there's some fighting shadow
I
boxes.
feel like
Yeah.
we
Oh,
could
wow.
do if we're going to do disrespect, we'll do it in the visiting.
The first thing I
Yeah.
noticed with these fighting shadow boxes is whoever put these together, and it does appear as if it has a gorilla's touch.
Really?
Yeah,
I thought I did a good job.
They held the pictures down with appears to be double-sided tape. 'cause
Yeah,
all
the
of
corners are coming up.
All of your pictures, the corners are peeling up just to show you how old you are.
Yeah, yeah.
You need to glue this stuff down,
Dude,
man.
I glue it. Then it ruins. If I ever want to take it out, it ruins a
Well,
picture.
no, just
so
the photos. You got to glue
Now-
the photos down.
now, I
I see pictures of Dana White.
You know they can make collages now. You don't have to make.
They
your
got
own.
there are places in town that would do this for you.
Now I feel like
professionally.
Seth, that this memorabilia from your MMA,
Signing your own gloves and hanging them is weird. I think, right? That's right. Signing your own gloves, like choose. They also say to Seth from Seth. That's
Well, I was going to get Kimbo, but he died, so I couldn't get his
Come
signature
on.
on it.
Yeah, usually when you sign your gloves, you give them to someone
Yeah,
because
to
then
a
they're
child.
like, hey, I got these signed.
No,
but
now they're worth more sitting there.
To me. Me love you, me.
when you own your own gloves,
To
signing
me
them-
greatest fan, me.
You don't have to tell me these are the gloves you fought in.
Yeah, I know. I see 'em.
You're here. You own the building.
Yeah.
And also, wouldn't this
Yeah,
be-
like Hank Aaron doesn't sign his baseballs, or he didn't sign his baseballs to Hank Aaron.
when I feel like this is more appropriate for the jungle
It
because
is.
it's an MMA gym. This is a karate gym.
Yeah,
You-
but some of the dads that drop their kids up here, they still want to look
That,
back.
honestly,
and,
that
oh,
was the whole reason of it, because we don't have any fight pictures hanging at the jungle anymore. It's all kind of nice artwork and stuff like that.
Yeah,
done, so it's
yeah.
a little more classy. So I did it here because a lot of the parents are like, they think I'm just a karate guy, and sometimes they want a little more hardcore self-defense for their kids. I'm
Yeah.
like, well, just so you know, I have...
Just so
fought
you
and
know,
beaten up
I am a
people.
killing machine.
Just so you know.
So
And I
that-
don't say that. They go and look at it themselves. I never point them over and be like, hey, look.
Sounds like your MMA partners of the jungle were like, give it up, Seth. or 10 years ago, Felicia's a star now.
Or is a little bit of this out of respect for your other, like I'm sure you train some people that are on a high level, and then if they ever want to like kind of balk your, or challenge you in any way, there's always this corner as a
proof.
reminder
Yeah, what I can really
that
do.
you could beat the hell out of them if you needed to, right?
That's good.
Now,
That-
Seth,
and it feeds my ego.
Do you still have the open?
That's the honesty.
Do you still have the open invite to any other sensei in Central
No,
Florida?
it's a dojo war. It's a turf war. It's like if your dojo thinks that
No, it's a sensei thing.
they can
yeah.
take over this territory, then the whole dojo shows up, and then the two senseis
the
square
Warriors.
off.
Yeah.
Usually, what happens is traditionally is if I challenge a dojo, I'd start with the youngest student, not youngest student. It
You
was the
could
lowest
kick some
belt student.
baby in the face.
Yeah, the 4-year-old.
Yeah, yeah.
No, the lowest belt adult, and then work my way up. But I'm just skipping all that.
And then would they send? Would it be up to that sensei to start sending people at you?
No, I go to their turf. So I have to. If I challenge, I go to their dojo in front of all their students and kill him, and then I take all the students at that. I just take over the dojo. Literally just take over the dojo.
I love that. I think that should be implemented.
No, I mean, we put this out a long time ago.
Yeah.
No one's
ever
yeah.
taken you up on this.
I feel like there's some super karate old man that could beat you with just pure technique.
yeah, that old
is-
super karate old man.
I'm saying that exists, right?
I don't know. I'm kind of
Well, I think we might be standing in its craziness right now. Seth might
I am
be
the-
super karate old man.
I mean, I'm 2 years away from the extreme senior division in karate.
Extreme
tournament.
seniors?
There's 35 to 45, which I'm in now, and then there's 45 plus. So then I'll be fighting.
Extreme seniors.
Extreme seniors. You've never seen seniors like these before. Bungee jumping, doing ecstasy, partying,
All right, let's
Burning Man.
Let's make our way onto the mat. So now, do we have to do a
I want to give
bow
Seth a
or-
compliment first.
Yeah.
Out of all of our guests, he's done enough radio to know to put the microphone in his face at all times when he says things.
Yeah,
and I
my
appreciate the
dropping.
hell out of that. Thank you.
Yeah, that's just because he's like, I need to be heard.
Yeah.
Hey, whatever works.
Normally, like
Oh, I
when
love
first-
this mat. Where'd you get that? Bed
when I
Bath and Beyond?
Yeah, that's an Amazon get. Yeah. Then the good one that I really like is in the back. That it's like a straw one, more traditional.
Now,
looking.
do we have to bow?
You do have to bow. So normally I say before you enter the mat, just showing respect for the dojo floor. You have to turn and face the dojo floor every time. So going on, you face the dojo floor, hands at your sides, 45-degree bow as you walk on, and then as you walk off, you turn around and do the same exact thing.
Oh, man.
Now, what if I don't believe in that?
has
It's not
nothing
my
to believe,
religion.
it's just my
It's like-
respect.
Well, I don't believe
What
in
if he
that.
doesn't have respect?
Yeah. What if
Yeah, he lives his life non-respect. No
Yeah,
respect
but,
for
like,
life.
what if I just I choose? I'm like, no, I don't participate.
I'm
in that.
agnostic. I'm sorry.
We're taking the knee
I
on
would make
this.
I'll make a very grimacing face at you.
Have you ever had anybody say, no, I don't do that?
No, and then what I normally do, so we do a very traditional bow into, and I'll show you guys if you want, but it looks like it's like a religious type thing because you're bowing to the front of the dojo. I turn around, they bow to me on the ground when we're kneeling. So I know
Ooh, I
some
like that. Hold on, I
Wait a
like that.
minute. They
I
bow to
like
you.
that they bow to the sensei. Like, yeah, and you're like, yeah.
That's the way it's done. And
And you're
so
like, that's right, bitch.
You make them get on their knees and bow.
It's
to
called
you?
a-
regular
Yeah, that's
Jared
what I'd
Leto.
make my wife do before sex. I'm like, get on your knees, now bow to me. Okay.
It's a seiza position. So you sit on your shins and your hands on your thighs, and we close our eyes. We meditate for about 15 seconds before
Ooh,
we
I
start.
like that.
Then we open our. We say it all in Japanese. Open our eyes. We bow. Show respect to the founders. I come up.
Oh, we don't respect our founders.
Turn your knees,
So we had to
look
cover
at
their
these.
faces. All right, so
You gonna bow?
So bow
going,
before
I'm
you
going
walk.
to
Wall bow.
Here we go. Hands by my side.
Hands on your side. Very good. You
No,
do that.
no,
You're
you
gonna
gotta
have
do
to
the
put
point.
the audio.
You
up.
got
That's
that?
rough.
No. Yeah, that's the approach. That's like
that's
you
the
just came to the
appropriate-
party and you're like, "What's up, my N-words?"
Seth text me to do that.
Okay,
No, yeah.
hands by my head.
Dan has a bad back.
That's about all I
and
can
I
do.
hate to say this, but you're not supposed to wear a hat on the. If it was my instructor, no, you don't have to. For me, I don't care. But if it was my
I
instructor,
want to be respectful.
who I grew up training with, he would. If
I
he
get
walked
it.
in the dojo with that hat on, he'd be like, doesn't even know. He'd be like, take the hat off.
Yeah, because it's like a
right
building.
that.
Yeah, my
that's
dad
right
would.
like that.
If my
Do I have
dad
to do
saw
the
me
praying
walk
hands?
into a dwelling with my hat
No,
on,
you
my
don't
dad
I
would
yell
slap
at
the
little
hat
kids that
off
do
my
that.
head.
Oh, don't do
They
that,
do
okay.
the little.
No praying hands.
Different.
No
Okay.
praying hands.
Yeah.
Nothing to do
Apologies.
with the religion. Nothing. All right. So
It feels good on my feet.
Yeah, it is
Especially,
nice
right?
and
It's
soft.
bouncy and-
I can't really jump much because my back is rotten, but that's great, dude.
So yeah, it's comfy. I can do some good takedowns on this. So yeah, like I said, traditionally it's just hard wood, but I do a little more takedowns in my style of training. So
Now,
I
how
like
did
to
you
have this-
figure this out? Because I'll describe the flooring for the listeners. So imagine really nice wood flooring, but then and then you said that there's how many? Let's describe the process of because I was trying to describe this to Tom when I came to the grand opening because I'm your friend. That there's like fire hose that runs underneath
heater
this,
hose? So it's
or
for the
heater hose,
car.
heater
It's
hose.
like 3/4 inch hard heater hose, gridded throughout the whole floor.
How many square feet of
This is like probably 1,000 square feet, maybe 900 square feet.
so how
of
much?
floor.
How much did you spend on heater hose? Do you think? Thousands of dollars?
It was a couple. It was like a couple grand for the heater hose.
Yeah.
yeah. And then the 2x4s.
And then is this an industry known way to fix your dojo up, or do other people do the heater hose technique?
Yeah.
or-
There's different. There's noodle versions that are a little cheaper. So people put noodles under the whole floor and then put plywood
Like
over
a
top.
pool noodle?
Like a pool noodle. Yeah, like a pool noodle. It doesn't last.
But you
long.
didn't
It'll
cheap
last,
out.
like, period. No, this will last forever. The heater hose will last forever. Yeah,
Nice.
for sure.
So Seth,
And I could take it with me if I ever close. I could take this whole thing with me, and it's a lot of
That's
work.
cool.
But I can
That's
just
cool
unscrew
that
it
you can do that.
and take it out.
immediately what catches my eye is the wall of weapons and the traditional.
Ninja Turtle pattern.
Like Shredder in the corner.
It looks as if all the Ninja Turtles had died, and then you just have a shrine to
So
Shredder.
this is bad because I did name him, and it is an appropriated name. His
Oh
name
my
is
God.
Musashi because he's the famous samurai. Anyway,
Man, this floor's
Miyato
loud.
Musashi. Anybody? No.
Creaks like an old
Well, it's all the
haunted
garbage you
mansion.
put
It's McDonald's wrappers. It helps. That is a 17th century, an actual 17th century Japanese piece of Japanese armor that I acquired.
That's dope.
Oh, where'd you
at
get
the last
that
Sword.
from?
you ever
There's-
pump Tracy wearing the top hat? I would. I'd
When
wear
I
the top
did
hat.
first get it, I wore the helmet around the house.
I would, yeah. I'd definitely
No.
be. I would
For a
definitely
little
be
bit of
having
time.
sex with a Shredder helmet on.
And the first thing that caught my eye is how small, like honestly, how tiny they were. Like, I mean, they still are smaller.
Yeah.
people, but they're especially back then they were very, very, very small.
I mean, where do you get traditional Japanese armor?
There's a sword show that's once a year here in Orlando that our instructor, our sword
It's the
instructor,
Orlando Sword Show. Don't let Biden take away your sword. Show up. Any ID, you can buy as many as you want. He's coming to get them.
I've heard those commercials. I love them. And you know what? I hear those commercials, and they do make me want to get guns. Like, I'm like, I should get some guns. I need all the guns.
Old man's coming for your
Yeah,
guns.
I don't want anybody coming for my guns, and I don't even have any. But I don't want people taking them away.
But yeah, they have like extremely rare swords there. They have the handles, the sayas, the scabbards.
Do you still
the
go?
toras.
Do you bring? You should do a field trip with your entire dojo.
Well, we went. We
and then
about
give them a
10 of us went.
per diem. Give them like, here's $25. You
Yeah,
can buy a necklace or a small, a
card,
doodad, a
little card.
keychain.
Yeah.
So Daniel was right in the fact that you do have every weapon of the Ninja Turtles hanging on the wall.
Well, there's a lot of like,
Donatello,
you know what
Raphael,
stinks is that
Leonardo.
like Ninja Turtles is goofy, but like to a lot of my like friends like you and other people that are in that world, they're not. It's not like they were too far off.
No,
you know,
I mean, the weapons are traditional Okinawan weapons, Kobudo weapons. Yeah, so I mean, the style of Kobudo that we do was like it's original from Okinawa. Like it's it's older than our karate. Like it's old. Like it's
Interesting.
Yeah, so that's our style right there. Which I'll say the name, but you guys don't really. Okinawa Kobudo Kenshin. It's a style of Kobudo that we do of weapons that we do.
You don't like it. Why is it so difficult for you to show respect to anything? If it has a funny name, you're like, all right. All right, knock off the mumbo jumbo. You're doing what? Okay, we had a caller that called in, and he was our testimonial for Streamline.
Oh, yes.
the sweet old man, and he called in and he did a reverse mortgage. So shout out to Streamline. This is not a commercial, but I'll get to a point. But you and I started like kind of funning with him at the end of the call. You'll listen to it, and at the end he kind of gives us the all right, come on, knock it off, guys. Why did you just do that to Seth now? Seth is like showing, and he said the name of, say it again. What is it?
Okinawa Kobudo Kenshin.
And you're like, oh, okay.
No, because no one understands it.
Well, that's why I didn't want to say it. I know
Yeah,
mumble
so-
people are usually like, well, whatever.
So then you hear that, and people are like, okay. You know, I'm just giving them okay.
Okay.
Now, I noticed some practice swords because my whole point with the wall of
Those
weapons
are kendo sticks. I've seen those on AEW wrestling.
They're called Shinai.
is
the name.
El Shaddai.
Shania.
Like Shania Twain.
out of all the Ninja Turtle weapons, the sword seems to be the dominant one to me because it's like, well, what are you going to do with anything else?
Who was that? Who was the sword? That's Raphael?
That's
Leonardo.
Leonardo.
Raphael's Asai.
Yeah. And,
You said Leonardo.
and I feel like I've seen sword fighting,
Nunchucks is cool, but if you got stream nunchucks, you're a bitch.
It's pronounced nunchaku.
Nunchaku?
Nunchaku. That's the correct word.
Yeah,
All
why
right,
do
all
they
right.
have,
Short
why
and
do they
say
have
nunchaku.
chains, nunchaku, and then they have string nunchaku?
What is this thing right here?
That's an Antifa fighting bat. That's an Antifa fighting bat.
It's called tonfa. That's like the original.
Tonfa.
That's the original tonfa. T-O-N-F-A.
Like a
tonfa.
police
That's
baton.
yeah.
that
That's
would-
what you
in
hit a
Japan,
rider
that
up.
originated in Japan back in the farming days.
I
But-
better fall over with my back. I have bad balance.
But our founder, who's hanging up over there,
Wait, we have founders.
was a badass with these things. Like he actually did exhibitions against the samurai sword, like full go. They're all cut up on the sides and stuff like that from blocking.
Well,
and
yeah,
moving
because
and things.
that
Yeah,
is
it's pretty sweet.
that's an offensive weapon, but tucked into your body, it's a defensive weapon.
Yeah, like you hold it on the side here for like blocking.
I've seen it.
and
You
then
hold
use
the
it.
riot
Oh
shield.
my God! You almost popped Tom right in the
Yeah.
head.
Well,
That
you
was
hold it this way
impressive,
for
right?
focus. I
Well,
got pretty good
scary.
focus with
Hey,
it.
you're pretty good at that, dude. Like, legitimately, you
You
should
gotta
open
like
a
loosen
dojo.
and tighten, loosen tight.
So my point being, as I've been fighting a lot with my son Max with swords, and I beat him every
When
time.
did you
but-
get
I'm just-
swords?
And then I
Sword
see like people that are actually trained in sword fighting, and I'm like, yeah, they're trained to fight each other in sword fighting techniques. But if you just had a amateur in there, I don't know if those techniques are because
It'd be sword fighting to me is like it starts and then it's over. You know, like it's like you get one good blow and then it's like we're done.
So my point being is, I think me versus Seth in that practice.
why
sword,
are all of these go-to shows becoming you challenging?
It's always a challenge.
Yeah,
Is that somebody else there?
He's just
he's
going to
trying to
start
prove he
whacking your
still got
flanks.
it.
No,
Yeah.
I don't think
You're too slow, dude.
No, I think I could.
You're too slow.
Stiff.
He's not going to be able
It's
to.
dojo versus
he-
slow Joe. You can't
Listen, he
do
can
it.
run 50 miles an hour. We saw it.
Yeah, but no, it's like
I'm just saying that he's going to try to do the traditional sword play, and
no, he's
I'm
just
going
going to
to
whack your head with the stick.
No, I'll be able to just stab like fast
No.
because I'm going untraditional.
This is gonna be your worst
and
defeat.
All Seth knows is
man.
traditional, so he's going to be trying to do
No.
traditional defense from a traditional.
But he's
offense.
using thousands of years of what's been like. They dialed it down to like, oh, we know what works.
But
Yeah, no, that honestly, the style of sword that we do teach has been they
It's
take
the
all
oldest one, yeah.
the pretty stuff out of it, and it's just only the stuff that
So
works.
it's
like,
practical sword
It's like
play.
slicing the wrist, slicing like the knee, just like little tiny
man,
things.
you're
that
gonna
cut
get
it.
sliced up.
You're going to get sliced up.
Let's just give it a try. Show me what you got.
Show me
Wait,
what
wait,
you got. All right, Sam's got your mic. So
You want a
Tom's
Shinai or
getting
do you want
a
a Boken? Do you want a Boken? Because Boken's a legit one.
Boken. Give
This
him
is
a
the
Boken.
This is gonna hurt.
Oh, hit him with
This
that.
is
Hit him with
real
that.
hardcore.
That's just an oak
Well,
plank.
this will sting. This will thud.
Okay, we'll just do this. I just feel.
All right, do you want me to hold your mic? Okay, I got Seth's mic.
All right.
Okay, I guess I'll. Okay, they've got their. Oh man, Seth's stance is up top, and Tom's on the defensive. Oh no, Tom's really. Oh, he's getting whacked. Oh, he's getting. Oh, he got his side whacked. I'm enjoying watching. Oh my God, he killed you twice.
Say uncle.
Then he did the patented, and we'll have to cut this out. But he got you with the dick stab.
Lightheaded. Hold on. Knock my hair loose.
It's good cardio, right?
All right. Okay. I see.
Oh, that was.
That was actually.
You had a good block at the beginning. Though. It's a good block.
I like that you got. You yelled, "Ow, ow!" You knocked my hair loose. Look at his hair.
Go ahead.
Tom was just like poking.
You weren't doing any sword. You
I'm
look
thinking
like,
of what I
you
see
look
in the
like an
movies.
old man moving a Duraflame in a campfire. Like you were poking. You were poking with the. You need to. You just bent over, and then you were poking at him, and then he was just whacking the top,
I
whacking the bottom,
hope
whacking the top.
that
whacking
Tom's clomping came through on that.
You could hear it.
I didn't expect the old sword over the head creep towards me. I have no
No,
defense for that.
That was his stance. Like he was.
That's intimidation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He was ready to go. Like when you look at baseball players, like they don't put the bat down. Why'd you have your stuff down?
Well, because I'm
that
used
is
to
a come on. That is a position here for jabbing and stuff like that. Too.
You're being
But
too nice
When some
to
people go here, I go just opposite.
Yeah, you're like Michelle Obama. They go low, you go high.
That was just, Seth had some technique there I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
All right.
So is this something, after getting a little taste of that, is this something that you feel like you and Max would like to take on?
Well, Max is like me. He's stubborn. He's like, I already know how to sword fight.
Is he?
Yeah, he needs to be.
Is Tommy just as stubborn? Or does he download information?
He's a realist. He's like, you guys are better. I won't even try.
Yeah,
I love Tommy.
he's like not interested in it. You'd be better anyway. I'll sit over here and take notes.
Now, let's move
You have
away.
a gelatin face. You have a
what?
gelatin face, man.
Oh, that's my. Yeah, that's my. Yeah, that's my guy.
Oh yeah, sorry,
All
you
right.
forgot the bow. Here, I'm gonna bow.
So,
yeah.
Out of face.
Yeah, when you go in and out. Yeah, we did it.
I mean,
Good,
we're
that was
already.
good. That was good.
we
I
did
like the idea that Seth takes it so seriously that there's no such thing as him exiting his dojo without paying it the amount of respect. That
Right.
would prove to me that if I were going to enroll my kid here, that you take it very seriously.
I do, and all the parents that come here, even the BDMs that come here and stuff, they see they're like, wow, well, I didn't expect that. Everyone's like, oh wow,
Yeah.
surprised.
It's like the
which is
one.
nice, which is a good thing, I
it's your
guess.
thing.
Is it a good thing? Because they do that to me too. They're
Oh,
like, they see me in the news. They're like, "Oh my God, you wore shoes," and it's actually disrespect
Yeah.
because they
It's a
thought so.
backhanded
I
compliment.
thought you were a scumbag.
They thought so little of you that they're surprised
Wow,
that you
you
got
can
your
tie
stuff
your
together.
shoes.
Now, did you want to save? Let me ask you this because we're having fun at the dojo.
Okay.
Did you want to save some time
Yes.
Oh, for slicing.
for the surprise that we
Yes.
have for Seth, where we're going to bring in some redneck items
Oh, boy.
to have them chopped up?
I do. We did. I text Seth before we got here, and I was like, "Do you have weapons?" He's like, "Yes." And then I'm still winded. Sorry. And then,
You're fine. It's a lot of
Yeah, I'm still
cardio,
out of
man.
breath.
and then I'm like,
A lot of jumping around.
Can you slice some stuff with a samurai
That's
sword?
not what he said. Can you chop things? And he said this is like a night and day apart. So I'm thinking he wants me to. I have
Oh,
wood here
right,
to chop
right.
a brick.
Oh no!
And
We
then
want,
he said the weapons last night. So I
we
didn't
want
know.
weapon play.
Oh,
We
yeah,
want
okay,
a
I can do that.
sword play.
And so we bought some stuff at 7-Eleven, and then we're gonna see Seth's skills.
Because we heard they're like, well, where do we get stuff for the chop with a sword? And everybody's like, well, the best stuff's at 7-Eleven. So we're like, oh, of course. So we'll go to 7. It's the only place that was on the way here.
Well, we were gonna get a watermelon. Then Sam said, "Let's get a
Cool.
pumpkin," but they don't sell pumpkins yet.
No, not yet.
Pumpkin
Right?
would be hard.
You'd think there'd be a pumpkin out yet.
Yeah, now, but-
You'd think so. They're not out yet.
All right, so we're gonna take a break.
Yeah.
Now the stuff is gonna be messy. We're gonna have to go out into the
Well,
alley.
no, we got to chop it in the middle of the
Yeah,
dojo.
normally
yeah.
when we do cut things normally for class, we have a tarp that we lay out, and it's a whole thing. Oh
wow.
Students have to clean it up and stuff like that. But
Oh, I like that.
No,
I like that.
we're-
Clean that up, you scumbag.
After we chop this stuff, we are out of here.
Yeah. As soon as
Wait,
we're
I
done
come by one
chopping-
free water, though.
Yeah, I mean, I will be in the truck as the pigeons descend in your parking lot. Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan, and as you can tell, we are live on location, which
Yes.
these are some of the spiciest, craziest, and most interesting shows that we get to do.
We are in professional wrestling school at Pro Wrestling 2.0 in Kissimmee.
Yes, that's
And
ProWrestling20.com.
now, should we call you Pug, Mr. Pug, General Pug?
General Pug. I like a General Sergeant Pug.
Alex, I don't know what.
Yeah.
How you doing, Mr. Pug?
Good. Hey guys, Alex is just fine.
Okay,
I mean,
okay.
really,
We'll go
I
with
mean,
Alex.
Yes.
You know, I figure since we're in the environment, I should go by the
Sure,
Pug,
yeah,
but I'll
yeah.
go
And
by
also
Alex.
to give a shout out to where we're at. Like I don't.
Yeah,
you
we're
were
right
born-
here at HitFit. Yep.
HitFit.
Okay.
Okay, just give a shout
CrossFit.
out to the facility that is HitFit for giving us the space today. Very
So-
nice of them.
We came out to wrestling school because I'm fascinated with like the professional wrestling business, especially with people trying to enter it, because I have no idea what the actual path or the most likely path to success is when it comes to becoming a professional
Yeah.
wrestler. But I know there's like
wrestling schools like this one that people start to learn the basics and then they move on from there. But I don't know what the what it takes, like what you have to look like.
So how would we start if we come to you and come to your school?
Yep.
Would you want us to already have like a character, or would you want us to have a physique?
Absolutely.
Or would you what would you need for us to have?
Just a good heart, in shape,
Okay.
longevity,
Okay.
and willing to go to the top.
Oh, I'm willing to go to the top.
Yeah, we don't want
And
we
the
don't want
bottom.
no
I go to the
skate
bottom,
rink guys
too.
here.
Okay. All right. So
No
now,
pencil neck geeks allowed.
So,
Tom.
so Alex, so let's say, okay, is there an age range that you're aged out? Like, for instance, like let's say I want to come to Wrestling 2.0.
Oh, you mean to
old.
start? I mean, because you look at the professionals,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
no ending. I mean, Ric Flair's going to wrestle. You know, like that guy's 160 years old and he's going to wrestle. Like
Yes, he
Hulk
is.
Hogan will be wrestling until he's dead.
Yeah, yeah. I saw him smoking weed with Mike Tyson.
Well, he has his own strand of weed
Yeah,
now
yeah.
called the Ric Flair Drip.
Yeah.
And the Mike Tyson 2.0.
That's
You
called-
can get both of those.
That's called making money without taking bumps.
Yeah,
Ah,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. And then he also does those those extended car warranty ads with Ice-T. Have you seen those?
Yeah.
Defense Shield or
God.
whatever. They're in the barbershop, and then Allen Iverson comes in and
Practice.
practice. We
Alex,
talk
did-
about practice.
Did you see the Ric Flair documentary? That was the best thing I've ever watched.
I did.
Yeah.
On ESPN.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
It was amazing. Like the guy was his character and lived the life,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
that's what I like.
So is that so?
Anyway.
You just want us to be in shape when we show up and we enroll in school. You just want us to have a good heart, be a good person, and be in shape, and then everything else you're going to kind of help guide me.
That's right.
Okay.
Yep. If you're available nights and weekends, you're good to go.
Okay.
So when you like, look, okay, let's say I don't know, I like wrestling. I come to you. I come to the school. Would you say that I'm in good enough shape to be in wrestling school as I am right now, or do I need to get bigger? Because I could do
No, you need to
roids.
bulk up.
100%.
You got to work on those sticks.
You
am I
got
correct?
to.
three
You need
cycles.
some. You need some better
You need
sticks.
leg days.
Your legs are.
You know, and that's an okay point. I understand. However, if you can get away and work well with what you've got, you would be fine. Like you've kind of got an Adam Cole build. Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah.
Hey,
Right.
what is it
I mean,
called?
Adam Cole.
Oh,
he's a
Adam-
wrestler.
oh,
Right.
okay.
And he's a fairly decent.
Adam Cole,
Yeah,
baby.
right.
Yeah.
Now-
That's the.
I'm more of a Michael
So
Cole
he's not
gal.
a big jacked up guy, but he looks good enough to get himself over, and that's
Yeah.
what it takes.
Do you know what
So-
that means? Get yourself over.
No.
It's
Yeah.
like you're popular.
Oh, okay,
You're working.
gotcha. Now, say I'm here training, and you don't have to come here with a character in mind.
No, we'll take care of that later.
Okay, is that?
Let's learn how to work.
Gotcha. Okay. So when
Oh,
you say
so by the end of this course today, we'll have Tom's character.
Well, no, so that's not what he said. That's not what he
yeah,
said.
yeah,
He said, and this is where I have a feeling Tom's going to not like
Tom wants to
wrestling.
speed up the process.
Tom's
Yeah,
going to
yeah,
want
yeah.
to speed up the process. And would I be correct in thinking that if I got enrolled in wrestling school and I was serious about it, I'm going to have to pay some dues before I get to the glory, right?
Yes, absolutely. We all do if you're doing it right.
Right.
I know what
you
that
gotta-
means.
That means you're going to need to learn all the because, like, the thing with
Well,
wrestling,
he'll know
the
in
thing
2
that I
weeks.
understand as probably the more wrestling out of the three of us, the more wrestling fan out of the three of us,
Yeah.
is that when you get involved in wrestling school, the one thing that a lot of people don't understand is the most important thing, at least to me, is when you're working with another wrestler, you're trying to keep that person safe. You know what I mean? Like. Because you're putting on a performance,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You're not necessarily getting out there and
Yes,
it's not
this
all
is
about
not
you.
MMA.
Yeah,
Yeah, gotcha.
you want to make sure that if you're doing something spectacular, that your partner, even though you're supposed to pretend like you're killing him, you don't want to hurt the guy for real. Because I've seen people on wrestling, film get hurt, like really hurt.
And then if you're hurt, you can't perform. And
Correct.
you're losing money.
That's
and,
right.
yeah,
And if you're working in a territory or with a major company, you might be working the next 4 nights together, or the next 7 nights.
Gotcha.
Until you go home, and you don't want to get banged up for 9 nights with this guy. You're like, this guy can't work.
So, Alex, in your opinion, I understand the physical aspect of it and the training that it takes. I mean, we've talked to wrestlers before and how much they have to work out and eat right and keep their physique. I mean, that's a good 45% of the work
Oh my
throughout
God,
the
so
week.
much, yeah. That's
Yes,
tough.
that's outside of ring work.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all you. I mean, if you're going to live it, you better look like it.
So that is hard, but I understand that, and I think a lot of people understand what it takes to, keep your training up and to keep your physique. But then the actual performance part, and then then there's the wrestling and that show. But I feel like the personality is like the difference maker when it comes to the pros and making money at it.
Absolutely.
The charisma aspect.
Yes.
Of it, sure.
And
Are
then-
you engaging with the crowd?
Yes.
Yes.
And can you teach that, Alex? Or is that something
You've
that's
always
internal?
wanted to
Not.
ask a wrestling teacher that. Yeah.
You cannot.
Okay.
Either they have it or they don't.
Gotcha.
You can get them in there. You can point them in the right direction and kind of tell them what they need to say, so to speak. But either the crowd receives it or they don't. You know what I mean? And either it gets over or it doesn't.
And you kind of
is what
see
we call
that.
it.
There are certain wrestlers that have the physique and they have the power and they have the sheer energy behind them, but they're not good talkers. For instance, I would say like a big guy, MMA guy that's in WWE, pops in now and again.
Batista?
No.
What's his name?
Brock Lesnar. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
I knew it was a
I
B.
don't know. He's
Yeah,
kind
he's
of
got Paul Heyman talking for him.
Yeah, he's always has a mouthpiece, because he's just not good on the mic.
But that's okay.
Right, that's fine.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you cover the strength and weakness.
Well, that's what I got Daniel for.
Right.
This is a tag team.
So I think what he thinks
the
that
manager.
we would be,
Okay.
like I would say
You're
like maybe
Paul
5
Bearer.
years ago. Well, like,
See, he's
I
already,
don't want to be
he's
Paul
already
Bearer.
thinking ready to, yeah.
I don't want to be Paul Bearer. I
Yeah.
want to be, what was the little guy that was with Big Cass for a while when they did their run in WWE? There was like a little guy, like a rooster guy, and he was like dancing and talking mad crap. You
Yeah.
know, that's me. And then you're like you're
the
not big
muscle.
enough.
Every rock star has a little person that does the,
Kid Rock and Josie.
No,
Exactly.
that's not. No, this isn't. What I don't want to. I'm not a little person by like the definition of the law.
So, is that something, Alex, that you see when someone walks in your wrestling school? Can you tell that they have the charisma right off the bat, or is it something that someone can work into and you didn't see it at first and then you saw it, months into the school?
No. We've got guys that walk in here in fantastic shape but can't do nothing. We got guys that walk in here that aren't in shape but can do something, just need to get their build right.
Gotcha.
So everybody wants to know how long is it going to take on a phone call. I don't know. What do you look like? Are you in shape? Have you ever been around coaching? Or can you take constructive criticism? There's so many things that have to be played out and to find out where you're at. And it's not just in a phone call.
How open to critiques are most of your students? Like when you get guys, do you find that most guys fall into one category of like being like maybe reluctant in
Absolutely.
the beginning, or like how do you work past that?
Yeah, in a real school, you really lay it on the line right up top. It's not just come in and do what you want to do. You're gonna be available Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8:00, and then you're gonna train and go to different events within 100 miles from here on Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, and that's going to be a field trip, and you're going to learn how to set up, tear down, and watch other guys get ready and put their stuff together. And so anyway, I don't know if I'm going off on
No, you're
No.
great. No,
Yeah.
I love all of this.
Well, how much too, Alex, is it where I feel like in all the wrestling scenarios I've ever seen, like all these guys are like a brotherhood and they all like catch each other's back, and it's like you're in this society and they're all cool with one another.
It's a special club.
So it feels like even if you went in there, you had the best physique, you could talk, but you were a D head and you weren't a team player, that the other wrestlers wouldn't want to work with you and wouldn't want to it seems like you need the other guy to help put you over, or
Yes.
and if you don't have that and everybody's against you, you're never going to succeed. So your own personal, if you're cool or not, makes a difference, and if you're just a good person, right?
And it's very tough in today's locker rooms because there's no more veterans in there with guidance. Not in most of them anymore. So you're working with another guy that's compatible with where you're at. So you're working on your stuff, but you're not really learning off of anyone that's been there already.
Okay.
Makes sense?
Yeah.
So it makes it a little tougher.
What's the biggest rookie mistake you see? Like with a new guy, you get him in there, and he gets in there. I mean, like maybe the biggest surprise that people have once they get in the ring that you see time and time again?
Well, here's one. Maybe the guy in the back is going along and calling with some stuff that he thinks he can do, but when he gets in the ring, he can't deliver it. So now we have to change the whole thing because, I trusted you that you said you could do what you said you were going to do.
Right.
You've already blown 2 spots. Just listen to me from now on.
Yeah.
And now whatever we called in the back, it's all changed because you blew it.
Yeah.
So
there's a certain amount of improv, like when you say blown spots. So these are like effectively, and tell me if I'm wrong, these are effectively moves that you were supposed to do. You and your opponent were going to execute these moves, and dude blew the spots. He didn't know how to do it. Maybe he dropped it. He grabbed he wasn't in the right area, looking the wrong way. So when he blows enough of those, like, how much of that, how do you improv on the fly? Like, how do you fix that?
Yeah, now it all changes because
how do you
I
fix
can't
that?
continue to put you over if you're not delivering.
Right.
So now, we're changing gears and we're going in a whole different direction.
Yeah. So there is an improv. You actually would probably, and I hate to say this, Tom, but you would be a good wrestler because of what you and I do, where we have to constantly improv and think on our feet.
Yeah.
Like, with the right training and knowing the moves, I think you have the improv brain to possibly work your way out of bad spots. I think he could do it.
Also, I could take a bump. Like, I'm not afraid of pain. I'm not afraid of...
He is very tough.
Taking a bump and getting
I
hurt.
want to see Samantha get into ladies wrestling.
Well,
so that's where the money's at for me.
Oh, absolutely.
Ladies wrestling is more popular now than I've ever seen it.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
She has no interest.
No interest.
She's looking at me like, I will kill you.
You can make some good money doing that.
Yeah, you can.
And also,
and she's also tall, and I feel like you would be a commodity. Like, who's that really hot, hot, like, popular lady wrestler and she's like 6 foot tall, and like the bigger, taller
Nikita.
Yeah, like when you see these super tall girl
Rhea
wrestlers.
Ripley.
That's who it is, Ripley. Yeah, what's her name?
Rhea
Ripley. Yeah, there you go. Like,
anyway, but back to what you were saying, it was Big Cass and Enzo.
Enzo. I'm Enzo. I'm the mouthpiece. I do all the talking.
And then back to where I
come in
was
with your
at.
floppy tees.
Back to where I was at as far as guys getting out and doing what they need to do on weekends. It really, when you learn that that's really the lifestyle of pro wrestling, your roster shrinks as students because they want to come in here and they want to learn how to train, but they don't. There's only about 50% that end up going on to do the field trips and continue in the business.
Right. Well, setting up the ring for the field trip, I'm sure a lot of people are like, I don't want to do that.
Exactly.
But you need to do it.
Yeah.
That's paying your dues.
Today's kids are just a little bit different. And if they haven't been around any coaching or good parenting, they're just, they'll kayfabe you, they'll ghost you, but they'll show up for training.
You're right.
And I'm like, brother, you're not going to make it. You're $500 a month. It doesn't matter if you're not going to be dedicated.
Right.
This is why we have 6 guys here. Do you understand me?
Are they less, do you find that younger kids now, and this isn't a dumb old man button alert, but...
No, I know, millennials.
Yeah, do you find that they can't look you in the eye when they're wrestling?
Absolutely.
Yeah, they don't like to look in the eyes.
Yeah, they don't like looking in the eye. They don't like to do work. They're not willing to do what it
Where's the old
takes.
man
He loves this part.
Yeah, like sometimes you got to do a cycle and take some pain pills. I know what it takes.
Somebody just put a fan on me, and I swear to God, there is sweat now being pushed from my ball sack down my thighs and into my socks.
So, Alex, can we get in the ring and then you show me a couple simple things?
He loves the simple things.
Yeah,
like
just,
a glass of warm milk.
Just like how to fall down properly.
Well, you do that anyway.
I don't know if it's properly.
I've always wondered
properly.
Like when some wrestlers know how to sell bouncing off the ropes and some don't. I feel like I see that.
When's the last time do you remember how?
What are you selling bouncing off the ropes?
Well, do you remember how to hit the ropes and use your hand? And how to hit them correctly? Do you remember that?
I see wrestlers where it doesn't look like the ropes are actually slingshotting them back.
Well, because they're not pushing into them.
Yeah.
You got to trust the ropes.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I feel like that's a skill. Like all these small things are what it takes to be a
Are you prepared to have bruises?
And when you see that, those are the guys that aren't ready and they're already out working and they're killing the business.
Yes, yeah. I'm here to tell you, Alex. I'm ready to try here, and I feel like I can impress you.
I feel like this would be the proudest your sons would ever be. Our dad is a pro wrestler.
Well, yeah,
well, you're taking the training.
We got Gobble Squabble in November.
Gobble Squabble.
What is that?
It's a battle royal. The contender goes
you
for the
should
world title
enter the
at the end of
Gobble
the night.
Squabble.
Please.
Who invented that name? Because that's fantastic. Gobble Squabble?
My family did.
You're very
Yep,
good.
it's a
That's
family
fantastic.
business.
That's
Gobble
fantastic.
Squabble.
Gobble Squabble's where it's at.
Yes.
Now, before
How many entrants in the Gobble Squabble?
I believe generally it's about 17 to
That's a
20.
lot.
Yeah.
20?
That's the Tuesday before Thanksgiving.
20 monsters hitting
Yeah.
each other, slapping
Yeah.
each other, chopping.
Winner goes on for the end of the night for the 2.0 world title.
I love it.
Alex, in your opinion, what's the most insanely dangerous thing you've seen a pro wrestler do? Because going back to sometimes they'll do straight up stunts where you'll climb on top of the cage and they'll jump what looks like 25 feet off the top of the
It's
cage.
too
Yeah,
much.
it's about 200.
Yeah.
It looks
about
like
what?
20. Yeah, you said it looks like 25, but it's about 200.
What do you mean, 200 feet?
Yeah. Like Shane McMahon.
Yeah. When Shane's jumping off the top, they do those things, and you're just like, how many months did you train to do that?
How many mattresses did you put in there, Vince?
Well, I was going to ask you, in your opinion, because the famous what's the guy who got the tooth stuck in his nose?
Oh, that's Mick Foley.
Mick Foley, he was famous for doing
that was a little bit of an accident, kind of off script, wasn't it? When he fell through the cage.
Yeah.
Because that guy's a severe lunatic.
Well, you never know. He always did stuff like that as a shoot for himself to get over too.
Right.
Because he could tolerate the pain.
He was tough. Yeah.
And it got him over.
You're like that. You are you have like a Mick Foley level of pain tolerance.
Tom
This man's
Foley.
hands are on fire all the time.
Well, it seems like there's an element if
He has carpal tunnel because he's chronic
Come on,
masturbator. This guy's.
If there's
Tennis elbow.
Yeah, he's got it.
If there's someone willing to do those extreme stunts, I almost relate it to Jackass. I've said this before. You're willing to do a stunt where you're jumping off something onto a table from 30 feet in the air. That is just a stuntman stunt. Doing it properly.
Right, you're just labeling it as wrestling, but it's no different than a stuntman would do.
If you screwed up and land on your head, you'll die.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's that
100%.
dangerous. You'll die or be paralyzed. So you have to, when you land, there's no way for it not to hurt. It is going to hurt.
Yeah.
So you have to be willing to hurt yourself. So what's the craziest thing you've seen personally where someone's willing to put themselves in extreme pain and do a stunt like that where one wrong move and you could be paralyzed or die? You think it's
Sabu does them every night.
You think so?
Well, yeah, for years he did.
And
Sabu,
explain to me what's the deal?
He was an ECW guy, right?
Yeah,
a hardcore guy.
A little bit everywhere.
And he had
Japan.
Sabu had I guess Middle Eastern gimmick. And his real gimmick was that he just had a thirst for pain and anything, jump, flip, fall on tacks, smash himself, cut himself, right? I mean, there's
he
really
was all over
nothing
the
the guy
place.
wouldn't do.
See, the tax thing
Tacks,
to me,
glass, barbed wire.
But what about Snuka coming off the top of the cage? He started all that.
Yeah. Well, that to me, though, is you land wrong, paralyzed. Right? The tax is okay.
Yeah, it's
you're going to bleed. It's going to
100
hurt. but
paper cuts,
Yeah,
sure,
yeah.
yeah.
It's not going to paralyze you, which you could easily do, I feel, jumping from that height and landing on a table. All right, Alex, let's get in the ring. I want to take some bumps. I want you to teach me how to go off the ropes real quick.
Okay.
So we'll take a quick break. We'll be back. We'll be in the ring at Wrestling 2.0 in Kissimmee. I'm going to take some bumps. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producer's here. Hello, Sam.
Hello.
We're going to do a Chatting with the Masters that we've been wanting to do for a while now.
I mean, this is I don't mean any disrespect, but this is the industry term, the white whale of people that we want, the top of the heap, number one requested, what you and I have been this particular person wanting to interview for, I don't know, man, almost 10 years now.
Well, since Fair Villa started sponsoring our show, which we appreciate very
much.
You sponsoring, this experiment that we started years ago. And, when you started advertising with us, it did help us out a lot because it's the way we could do this is our advertisers. But the owner of Fair Villa Megastore, Bill Murphy's here. How you doing, Bill?
I'm quite well. Thank you very much for having me.
No problem.
It's really great to see you, man. It's been a minute. And I remember when I first met Bill, and Fairville and the different incarnations of what is Fairville Omega Store. It was funny that we were both a lot younger, but always it looks exactly the same party, same vibe, same kind of like always like somebody that when I met, and I don't know if you know this, but when I was first introduced to you, it was like you were the type of business owner that I was like, well, I want to hang with that guy. Like I want to be around that guy. You were.
I strive to. You're
fun.
You're the quintessential Florida businessman that I want to be. I feel like you would be in the Hall of Fame of Florida businessmen.
Well, thank you.
Seriously,
I agree with
I
that.
want to someday get into the Hall of Fame, but I'm not going to make it. I'm the Flacco of podcasts.
Wow. Hey, 2 weeks ago you were pretty good. 2 weeks ago you were pretty good.
Hey, I'm still playing, but no one will take me seriously.
Every once in a while, a little greatness will shine through.
But no one. Everybody's like, I can't wait for the new guy to come back.
Well, we
Anyway.
got limited time.
Yeah.
Let's jump into it. So, your business, Fairville Omega Store, or it wasn't always a sexual wellness, novelties, lingerie. It wasn't always this beautiful building. It was before that. Well, how did it start? How did you decide?
How far back do you want to go?
Well, I guess. I mean, was it your first business?
No.
I was going to guess.
Close.
I was going to guess no on that.
Well, how did it even start, Bill? Because I've heard the legends and where you started and how.
I was always told, never confirmed. I was always told that it started as a theater.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much so.
So, tell us that. How?
All right. The beginning of Fairville Twin Cinema in 1970.
All right.
A couple of gentlemen decided to open up a B-run movie house.
Okay.
Which Fairville Twin Cinema was one of those. And there was a guy from Georgia and a guy from California. And they had a chain of these things. And it opened up June of 1970 showing MASH and Patton.
MASH follows me everywhere.
Yeah. MASH, Patton, decent movie.
Hold on. So there
It was
was.
a dollar movies.
Okay.
It was back in the beginning of the dollar movie.
Okay.
And they plugged along like that until 71. When I came to Florida, I lived over off of over next to Maxine's on Shine when I moved over
Oh,
there.
that's a great spot, man. Yeah.
And had kids and all that stuff. But I worked on the railroad and back and forth. But started off, I came to Florida as the youngest licensed insurance agent in the world.
Really? From where, though? How old were you?
I was just turning 18.
That's very young to be an insurance agent. Yeah. Youngest insurance agent.
Well, my mother was the #1 Mutual of Omaha salesperson for 25 years.
Oh, there
and
you
I
go.
grew up with Marlon Perkins and Jim Fowler and those people in and out of my house.
So you knew how to do that just from osmosis, just being the kid.
Well, just being a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, but I came down here, went to work selling insurance, hated it.
Oh.
I mean, you're an 18-year-old kid trying to sell a guy a retirement plan. They said, what the hell do you know about retirement? You're 18.
Right.
So
Insurance is boring, though, Bill. Although, what a pivot, though.
Maybe I was going to say the most interesting pivot. I mean, from insurance to what's the obvious 180? I could see it.
my first real job that I got a paycheck from was running a movie projector in my little hometown of Yeager, West Virginia.
Okay.
That's spelled with an I-A-E-G-E-R, by the way.
Okay.
Not to be confused with Chuck Yeager, who was from Lincoln County, which is over the mountain. And so I got a job there
Yeah.
as a projectionist at Fairville Twin Cinema.
Okay.
Now, when I was 13 or 14, still showing the movies in West Virginia, we had this Wednesday smoker night, and they would show these nude Russ Meyer movies.
Oh, yeah.
One show only. I met Russ.
You met Russ Meyer?
Oh, yeah.
Who is that?
Holy crap! He's like the god of big T's. I mean, this guy. Russ Meyer, like
I'm Russ Meyer. Like big.
No, all the hot rod movies with the scream queens with the big breasts and the hot pants and the hot rod kind of culture. Like I remember, like it certainly wasn't my time because I'm only 46, but I remember seeing it, Russ Meyer, and I knew of him from like motorcycle publications and car magazines. He was the guy that had the big booby girls in the and they're dancing and go-go dancing and bopping all around.
Yeah. So I met him in Las Vegas a long time ago, and when I came to Florida and then working at Fair Villa, it wasn't doing really well as playing dollar movies. So we changed over. At some point, I became manager.
Okay.
And changed over to showing softcore.
All right.
Adult movies. And
what kind of softcore adult movies were back then? Like, they were feature. Like, the only information.
35 millimeter feature films. They were actually shot.
Like Boogie Nights, right? Like that's the only.
Look at Boogie Nights. He thinks Boogie Nights is like a Boogie Nights.
I don't know why I said it like that.
What are you doing? You're embarrassing me.
I'm sorry.
Sort of, kind of.
All right.
A Boogie Night.
So, and when you said this, was there any opposition or like, hey, we can't do that?
What are you doing? This projectionist is lost his mind.
Was everybody into it? Like, hey, that may work.
No.
Okay.
We went from showing movies that were expensive to rent. These movies were like flat rate. You just rented them out $50 a week, and then and then you charge, instead of charging $1, you charge $2.50, just because it's got the sin factor to it.
Yeah, it's something you can't get anywhere else.
Exactly.
So you can have an upcharge on it because that's a specialty movie.
We opened at 5 o'clock every day, and we closed at I think midnight or 2 o'clock in the morning.
So, did that transition into more hardcore? Did how many people? Like, did people immediately start coming? Like you saw the record number of sales, ticket sales, and stuff. Or like,
it did all right. I got out of the business after my kids were born. I said, well, I don't want to have them going to school. You got to worry about the friends at school. We'll tell you about your daddy's
he's running the porn theater.
Movies,
yeah. No, seriously, it's interesting that I would never think to navigate that. These are the things people don't think about when they just see the successful business. They don't think about having to think about your family or kin or whatever.
So I got this job driving a truck in a air conditioning warehouse for a while, right across from Fair Villa.
Okay,
and then I got a job on the Seaboard Coastline Railroad as a brakeman. I became a conductor on the auto train.
Okay.
And then it just drugged me back into it. I mean, these guys came up to me and said, listen, the new owners of the Fair Villa said, we want you back. So I came back in and upped it up to like Deep Throat level,
Okay.
Those are the classics. Bill, Behind the Green Door,
Seka.
Deep Throat, Seka, Seka, right?
Seka,
yeah.
Now, did you?
I remember all.
She's still kicking.
Really?
Oh yeah.
And it's funny too because like when I met Bill, we're still before I'm even I haven't met him here, but like when he knows all these or knew in the golden age of adult films, like these people would tour and come through town.
So Bill, did you know more about this, like the movies and what people liked than the other people? Like, I'm curious of why they're like, we need Bill Murphy back here. He knows porn.
Maybe he just had the cojones to do what needed to be done to make the money.
Like,
exactly.
Nobody wanted to be the hangman. And what I mean by that is they needed the guy that had the cojones to go, we'll show Deep Throat. Who cares?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Well, what I did was I made a deal with the owners that if I could have free reign, I would be on a graduated scale of rent, and I would take it over and I would rent it. And the more that I brought in to them, the more I got.
Okay.
So it come time for them to sell it in about a year, and I had taken my commission checks and not cashed them, and I bought it back with their money.
Wow, that's awesome.
So, Bill, we're going to dive into a little bit more. We're airing this on radio, so there's a limit to what we can say. But your clientele coming to these theaters to
good
watch
question.
these movies. Did you have to put up a sign like, "Hey, don't"?
Hey, be cool,
Pee
bro.
Wee in here. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Don't do the Pee Wee Herman in here.
Or like,
Because but full well knowing as the business owner, like that's probably what they're here to do, or at least going to try to do, because they can't control themselves, or like they're going to be trying to hide in the background. They're still going to do it. Do you have to warn them not to? Is there people like spot checkers coming in, or you just let people do what they do, and then you have a janitor? How does that work? Sorry, Bill. That has to be a problem, right?
Slow down, man.
People are hammer handing all over the theater.
Oh my God, almost like you want to go there.
Bill, we got an Airbnb.
Would you like to borrow my raincoat?
I'm just that had to be like an issue, right? Like,
calm down, man.
I'm just saying, like it had to be discussed in the owners' meeting at the end of the day.
It's how you manage the flavor or the theme of your business. My buildings have always been scrumptiously clean. The bathrooms are clean. The premises are totally clean, and you keep that atmosphere. And like driving down here from North Carolina for this show today, I stopped at Buc-ee's. I never stopped at Buc-ee's before.
Okay, I see it on the internet.
I would buy my art in a Buc-ee's bathroom.
Yeah, because
Damn it, man! It's just
it smells good.
A clean establishment.
Yeah, you're right. It goes a long way. And that was one of the things I always noticed, even when I first met you it was a different incarnation of the Fair Villa building. And this is when you still did when people would try to shoplift. They'd take a Polaroid of the person shoplifting holding the dildo, and then they'd stick it up, and they were all throughout they're everywhere, and that would be the way that you got shamed into like, hey man, don't be stealing from us. We're a legitimate local business, and like I can remember all of that. But the one thing is the store was always meticulously maintained. Like everything was always like so nice. Yeah. And I guess that's the way around the stigma.
I never tell them that I'm coming because I don't like the smell of fresh paint. So it's always clean.
Gotcha.
So Bill, where like you're showing these movies, it's profitable, but I imagine like when do like VHS and that whole when does that start happening?
Oh, that's another 10 years.
Oh, okay.
What you're missing about what I've never talked about before is the fact that to make this jump from being an employee to the owner.
Okay, yeah.
There was a movie, and that one movie was a movie by the name of The Life and Times of Xavier Hollander.
Okay.
The Happy Hooker.
It's what your video is based off of, the name.
No, The Life and Times of Drunk at the Bear, the porno.
100%, because it's
weird.
But they were just making. They're not. There was like a tip of the hat to this film.
And I bought radio for the first time for any adult place.
You bought radio?
I was the largest radio. I was the John Morgan of radio back then. I bought every station.
Okay.
I bought Avails. I bought every spot I could get. I was the largest customer at what was the country WLO. No. What was it? The country station over Pine Hills.
There was K92. There's LOQ. There's
Gene Burns and
I remember Gene Burns.
I just talked with Bob Poe the other day.
Yeah, these are old names. Yeah,
we should start that country station back up in Pine Hills and see how it does.
It was in the golf course over there in Pine Hills.
I grew up.
WHOO.
Yeah.
WHOO.
Yeah, WHOO. I know exactly, but I can't. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
My salesperson was named Polly Morgan, and Polly came over and she sold me this schedule, and I paid her cash for it up front. I never bought radio before.
Yeah.
So I gave her like $4 or $5 in cash. This is like 1980, 1977.
Oh my God, that's like $80,000 now.
I know, it really is.
And she went back to the station. She was whooping, doing the salesperson's dance, and the sales manager says, "You can't bring that money in here. We can't take their money."
Yeah.
And so she brought it back to me. She was crying. She had big old crocodile tears.
Oh yeah.
And then the general manager comes in 30 minutes after her and says, "You did what? You took back cash?
Yeah.
Let's work this out.
Yeah.
So BJ 105.
BJ 105. I remember that station. Yeah.
WORJ. Remember Rick Namey?
I do.
Rick Namey used to give me the station on April 1st for Parody Day. And we would make up all kinds of crazy things. We would have a remote from the Fair Villa parking lot called Irving's Rent a Raincoat. Come and see me, Irving. For 25 cents, I will rent you a raincoat to wear into Fair Villa Cinema. Where, you may ask, does the 25 cents go that I give to Irving? It goes to my son, who is in college, who is not going to make it.
Oh yeah. I love this.
Now this was
He's
still
doing
Fair Villa
bits.
Cinema,
Yeah.
and back when a lot of radio stations were all of them were like mom and pop. So because it's funny when we got more corporate, then they started
getting snatched up into groups,
and they started like, we're like scared of advertising anything that risque or So even with the mom and pop, there was a little bit of that, but you're paying in cash. So by the way, Bill, you could pay us in cash for any advertising. Anytime you want,
Thanks,
meet you.
Bill.
I'll meet you in front of your house. Hello.
He lives in North Carolina.
and we never return it.
Post-dated site.
Yeah. So the Fair Villa Cinema is thriving. How would I'm sure as you got more popular, would these movies that you rented, would they know or would they catch wind that other companies were making more money and wanted to rent them out for more amount of money to you, or they never changed the rate?
I didn't get into that end of it. One movie that I did do though was with Marilyn Chambers, and God, I love that woman. She's a good friend to this day.
Legendary in the business, right?
The movie was called Insatiable. And I tried to rent a hot air balloon to ride down I-4.
I love it.
During rush hour in the morning.
Didn't we try to rent a hot air balloon? I think we're just the younger, less attractive Bill Murphys.
You wanted a blimp, didn't you?
We tried to order a blimp, and we were going to fly down I-4.
They wouldn't rent it to me. So I bought
Us either.
You bought it? You bought it?
We didn't do that part.
We heard how much it was, and then we politely excused ourselves.
That's a true story. Is that the Grand Bohemian and I took champagne to go. I was like, well, I'm taking this if we can't afford your blimp.
Bill, you bought a hot air balloon?
Yeah.
And did you have to buy?
No, he didn't just buy a hot air balloon. He bought it for the movie Insatiable for Marilyn Chambers, which makes the story even better.
Yeah.
So, what? Did you find someone that could pilot it, and then,
of course,
and then just
you just let Marilyn Chambers,
and you fly it over I-4?
Yes, the prevailing wind would go at that time of the morning, at that time of year, went from Daytona Beach to Tampa, and went right down I-4 during rush hour. And then when the wind clocked, we put it down on the South Trail, south of I-4 was a parking lot for Miller's department store, if y'all remember that.
Okay.
Zare.
Oh, Zare's.
Miller's.
Oh, Miller's.
And we had it there Sunday morning staked out in the parking lot. We run it up and down on a winch, basically. And there was this lady came by and didn't even look up in the air. She had her 14-year-old son in the car with her, and so she was going to let him learn how to drive in the Miller's parking lot on Sunday morning at 9 o'clock in the morning with this hot air balloon tethered out there in the middle of the parking lot. Well, he immediately drove into one of those guy wires and flung everybody out of the hot air balloon. Broke a guy's back.
Oh my God! Now the story's going in a different direction. Oh my God! I was just having fun with the story, and now
he drove into the guide wire holding the balloon steady.
Yep.
And
with the porn star in the balloon?
No porn star.
Oh, no porn star. Okay.
And it flung the people out of the basket.
God.
How high was it?
10 feet.
Okay, all right.
I'll still kill you if you land right.
It's not right. Yeah.
So, it broke someone's back?
Yeah, broke a guy's back. Yeah.
God. Crazy. Also, at a time where I
These
feel
are the
like
stories you love, by the way, where it's like no one is and then the guy, he was fine. Did he live? The guy's okay?
Yeah, he got between. I had rented the space from Miller's legally, legit. So that was covered under their insurance, and then my insurance, and then of course this lady's insurance.
Sure, he's all right.
Oh, it's okay. All right.
it's fine.
But now we live in a world where, like, if someone has a heart attack in your Airbnb, you'll be sued out of existence. I'm like, what do we do? We didn't do nothing.
I did nothing. I just rented my house as a good friend.
That was like, we have this hot air balloon. Someone flies out of it, broke his back, and then it's like, oh, our insurance is fine. Like,
so how far into? So you're the movies are going big. You're playing them. You're getting into that. When did you decide to make the flip to, like, you know what? I think that we can get people to come. We can get this to be like an epicenter of like sexual products. Well,
that started getting. I opened up a video store in my old office called Poncho's Video.
Okay.
That sounds like something you'd open. Right? I like that too. Poncho's
VHS had just come out.
Okay.
And, maybe I could rent some of these out. So,
were they adult or just regular?
All adult.
Okay, all adult.
I mean, that
now, I
industry
even rented.
was huge.
I'm 46, but I even rented and loved. Man, I'd get so excited knowing that they got. I loved it. I was like, you rent them up at Video News. It was the only place that had the back room with the curtain.
The back room is what paid all the rent. That's what made all the money. All of the other stores, they were just out there with just
regular
mom
stuff.
And pa stuff.
Nobody wants that. Yeah, you could rent that at Goodings or Albertsons.
Red Box or whatever.
Yeah, it wouldn't even matter.
You know what's interesting is, Daniel, we and our parents' generation are the only generation that grew up on the same porn. And I'll explain.
That's gross.
Well, check this. Well, follow my logic here.
Why are you telling me this?
No, it's because it's true. Think about it. It'll never happen again. In the fact that our parents bought the first VHS tapes in the 70s and 80s or whatever, porno tapes that we were first exposed to.
That's true.
As our generation in our 40s, that's the first porn I saw was my dad's old VHS, which is the first porn he saw because it's when VHS was invented, unless he saw it at a movie theater or something like that.
No, you're forgetting another outlet there.
What?